the Lord of the Analverse. He's one of the head lords of the Analverse.
What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Dusty?
What's up,
Hey, how's it
Preston?
going, Dusty?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. Just chilling, hanging out.
Good.
You know, we're just waiting for you, you know, so now that you're here, we're ready to go. So let's see. Tonight is, should physical fitness be nationally mandated? Martae is going to be on the affirmative. Dusty is on the negative. You guys will have opening statements, about 7-minute opening statements, followed by the 1-hour debates, and then about like a 5-minute closer, and then a Q&A.
Okay.
So yeah, make sure you guys get those super chats in. We'll be asking those questions. If you guys got anything to say to either Martae or Dusty, make sure you send those super chats in. So without further ado, Martae, since you're on the affirmative, we'll let you go first. So let me get the timer ready.
We'll roll out the video whenever you get a chance to do that. And there'll be a picture. Can you pause it on the picture and then press play again when I tell you?
Okay, sure.
Dusty, it's not a picture of me without my shirt, by the way.
I'm leaving.
Okay, so Donald Trump, the ultimate 4D chess master of reverse psychology, single-handedly launched America's biggest involuntary cardio program since the invention of the treadmill. Guess what that was, Dusty? He simply existed loudly enough to trigger millions of out-of-shape, fat-ass liberals into spontaneously forming resistance marching clubs nationwide. No gym membership required, no Peloton subscription, zero motivational playlist, unless you count Not My President chants as rhythm. They thought they were owning the libs' new king, but not really. They were just owning their long dormant leg day. Trump didn't tell them to get fit. He made them so furiously they did 10,000 steps a day on their own fat ass dopamine high. Genius level trolling, if you ask me. National obesity crisis. We can basically crack this really quick. So here's the thing, though. We have solutions. I know Dusty right here is going to go the authoritarian route, which doesn't make any sense because we've already nationally instituted a lot of policies already too. And I'm going to go into this. So along with this, we have PE programs that we've instituted, and I can give you the dates and times on this, fitness regimens that we've instituted since the dawn of time as we can think about this. And then not to mention that, but going into this, here's the other thing too. The President's Council in 1956, via executive order, this arose from studies showing American youth were less fit than European peers. And then we can go on. President fitness test, late 1950s to 2003, via executive order, once again in 2025. This was a standardized national fitness testing program in public schools, middle schools, and high schools, involving exercise like sit-ups and all that. Matter of fact, I have a military context and everything else for you, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Here's the thing, though, Dusty. Because I already know he's going to be like, oh, I'm a libertarian, my freedom. And Sarah on her channel was raging about personal privacy. Well, fuck Sarah, by the way. And back to this. Why the hell should disciplined tax-paying Americans be your personal ATM for the $173 billion a year obesity apocalypse that you and your lazy-ass friends created? If you scream tyranny at mandatory fitness but stay silent while the rest of us get robbed to pay your triple bypass and insulin, aren't you just a parasitic lease hiding behind my freedom? So you're perfectly fine letting sociopathic corporate ghouls at Nestle, PepsiCo, and Big Pharma literally poison and addict entire generations for quarterly profits, turning kids into lifelong consumers of Ozempic and heart stents. Yet you call for you're going to call for a 20-minute government mandated workout, Orwellian. This is probably what he's going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Explain how being owned by boardroom psychopaths is somehow less authoritarian than telling people to stop walking with their loved ones at night for 30, 20 minutes. Tell me how that's not even then. You call it personal liberty to be 400 pounds, wheezing after tying your shoes and unable to fuck, have sex with your wife, fight or flee in an emergency, then have the gall to lecture us about what you're going to do, what you call freedom. How is willingly turning yourself into a disabled dependent blob any less form of self-imposed slavery than a simple national fitness standard that would actually let you live like a human being instead of a meat sack, a burden? So play the rest of this, Vic, and I'll continue with my montage. It'll play.
Monologue.
An eye-opening new study out of Harvard predicts nearly half of the U.S. population will be obese by 2030, with a quarter of that group expected to be severely obese.
The results show that severe obesity will be more common in women, non-Hispanic Black adults, and in people with annual incomes below $50,000 per year. Western Mass News is digging deeper, speaking with local nutritionists to learn more about prevention.
Research published Thursday in the New England Journal of Medicine indicates in the next 10 years, 29 states will have obesity rates close to 60%. And even the ones with the lowest BMI indexes will be approaching 40%.
Researchers looked at, the past obesity trends, and really what they're seeing is that in 2030, 1 in 2 individuals will be considered obese, and then 1 in 4 individuals will be considered severely obese.
Even more startling, the study indicates severe obesity will be more common among low-income adults. And it's alarming for Big Y registered dietitian Andrea Luttrell, who tells Western Mass News Americans can and should start making small and affordable changes.
Making sure you're having snacks in the middle and you're not overly hungry. Then that's when you tend to overeat and maybe take those more indulgent foods or the fast foods.
Plus, it's free.
So to be active, it doesn't mean you need to sign up for a gym membership. That could be something as simple as dancing every day in your house, not necessarily going to a formal class, or going for walks after you eat with a friend or with your spouse. Doing something that you really enjoy, because you'll be more inclined to keep it going long term.
And make sure you're getting enough sleep.
All right, take that off, Vic, real quick. So Dusty wants America to get curb stomped by China or Russia because half our draft age population can't run a mile without an ambulance. If you oppose fitness mandates, you are straight up cheering for national humiliation, military collapse, and the day we have to beg foreign powers for help because our soldiers are too fat to carry their own gear. It's already hard enough to get soldiers to enlist. We're too out of shape already, like they said in the video. 2030, 60% of our population is going to be morbidly obese. We already drag kids to school at gunpoint, figuratively, and force every adult to get jabbed so society doesn't implode. We've done that, yet you lose your libertarian mind over requiring adults to do the bare minimum to not bankrupt the country with self-inflicted large diseases. Gee, Dusty, what's your master plan, genius? Print more trillions of ventilators, wheelchairs, and gastric bypasses while screaming, "Don't tread on me, libertarian, me"? You're not a libertarian. You're a walking substitute for big medicine. That's what this is going to boil down to. Deep down, they know the status quo is indefensible. Dusty just prefers the comfort of denial and corporate bootlicking over actual responsibility. And not only this, but I will provide the mandates that we've already had in junction with the mandates that we've had for states in our country with schools, military, and everything else. And it's free. And health subsidies can decrease. We can give incentives and all that. And I'll dive into this, how we can make people pay less on insurance and more if they do this. I'm literally saving the country's ass while Dusty is fighting for I don't know, us to get curb stomped by these other superpowers because force, in order to have weapons, which he says we have, you need to have gun retention. So in order to retain that, you need to have physical force, but you can't do that out of breath. Anyways, I'd love to hear his argument, and I'm ready to dive into it.
All right. Thank you very much for that opening statement. Let me reset the timer, and then we'll let Dusty do his thing. What the fuck's going on here? All right, Dusty, whenever you're ready.
Okay. You talked you opened and mentioned some school programs, things like that. That's not what we're discussing here. We're discussing a national mandate. That's the prompt. Economics, the economics of it, you said that it cost, remind me how much you said it would cost, or that the heart disease costs.
That's all tied in. We can dive into that right now.
You listed a number. Do you remember the number?
Do your opening
statement?
It was
173 billion. But if we look at the costs of oversight and implementing this program, the closest comparable thing I could see was probation. It's sort of like you're putting people on probation, and that costs about $3,300 per year per person on probation. If we multiply the population by the costs of running one person on probation, that's $1,131,255,000,000. So you are increasing your cost dramatically to implement the oversight that a mandate Mandate would require. This isn't a suggestion, it's a mandate. So it does need oversight. It needs enforcement. Otherwise, you're not promoting any change at all. Right now, I'm not denying that exercise is good and Americans are obese. That is the case. However, they already have the option of exercising. The economic oversight that it would take to implement such a program would be astronomical. Not to mention, that's probably a low estimate. Probation is standardized for everybody. Everybody has the same requirements, the same standards to meet. When you're talking about implementing fitness, we're talking about things that need to be tailored to people's specific health. You and I could probably run more than an old woman. We can lift more, right? So this is going to need to be tailored to the individual person. The expenses from there just balloon astronomically. And that's for a program that people really don't even want. If people wanted to be in shape, they would exercise, but they don't. On top of that, mandates need to be imposed by the government who has a perfectly awful track record of knowing what's healthy for us. Look at the food pyramid. They got it upside down. These are not sound decision-making entities, even if you do believe in authoritarianism and don't care about your personal freedoms. I think the final thing I'd say is that you mentioned that I'd be cheering for China and Russia to win in a war if we're out of shape. When is the last time that you saw two armies lined up like it was Braveheart? We're in the era of drone technology where it's probably a bunch of fat asses sitting on their butt, killing each other just like in video games. So I yield the rest of my time.
All right. Thank you very much, Dusty, for that. So before we begin the hour-long debates, I just want to remind everybody to send in those super chats for the Q&A portion, which is at the end of their closing statements. Also, too, if you send in super chats, I will see them, but I'm not going to be posting them on the screen because I don't want to distract either of the debaters. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Let me reset the clock. And gentlemen, let's begin.
It's funny how the ex-probation person is rallying against, that it's probation. Of course, you would go to something familiar. But here's the thing. I'll ask you a question, Dusty.
I could have gone to jack off videos
a year to put somebody on probation. Can I see the numbers on this? What's your source?
The numbers on what? On the finances?
Yeah, I need you to not backpedal and actually back up your claim saying that these are the finances and how this equivalent and how this equates to probation.
Okay. Let me grab that, and you grab the source for your expenses.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do this with every? Are we gonna do this with every claim?
No, just your dumbass claim, because the reason why it's stupid, and I'll tell you why, because when you mentioned Braveheart, nobody goes on the field like Braveheart, but in order to enlist people in the military, they need to be able to fulfill certain fitness standards, and we have a low recruitment rate. We won't even have soldiers in the military at the rates we need because there's a decline of fitness standards right now. So if we need a military, we need numbers. And why are we not getting numbers? Because of fitness status, right?
Is that why nobody
to be enlisted? We can't recruit.
Get off of Grok.
Can't recruit. Not even on Grok right now. Stop right now because you're getting slaughtered right now. Right now we can't recruit in the military.
I see you reading shit.
I'm looking off at my wall right now. So anyways, back to this. We can't have a recruitment rate in the military if we can't have anybody that's fit enough to enter. Do you know what the standards of military entry are?
What's that?
Push-ups, there's a certain level of push-ups, running, everything else. You can't be too fat and get in the military. That's not what's going to happen. Can you be obese and get in the military in a list?
Do you think that fitness requirements are going to be more or less important in the future?
More important.
No, they're not going to be. They're going to be less important. We're not fighting kinetic wars.
Okay, demonstrate to me how illness isn't a burden on the medical system right now, and how more core morbidity isn't weighing down other options, and how taxpayers aren't basically shouldering the burden of all this. Can you demonstrate how any of this is not happening, Dusty?
Bad health is not a good thing for people.
I'm still waiting on your probation claim, by the way. Go ahead, Dusty.
Let me answer the question. The expense difference is astronomical.
No, it's not. I'm still waiting on that.
Allowing people to be fat is way less of a burden than policing.
No, it's not.
Let me respond to you. Chill out.
Go ahead.
then
Go ahead.
tailoring a health regimen to each citizen and then overseeing and enforcing it.
Okay, demonstrate that.
All right.
Oh, you can't do that. Okay, fine, but I can demonstrate it.
I'm not using
Here's how we can
using
demonstrate.
Grok, but
Hold
I'll
on, you
find
don't
the
even
source
have
that
a
I used earlier.
demonstration, so let me go. I'm going to go because you don't have shit. So anyways, back to this. I actually have solutions on my end. Revenue
you don't.
fund, right? SNAP, WIC, community fitness grants. We can actually get grants. This is free. In the end of this, in the interim, we can help this, and it saves employers for costing people sick days because they're not fat and more prone to illness. You're actually saving employers money because you have people that aren't calling off sick and debilitating illness. So when you have comorbidities and obesity, that's closely related to calling off sick and sick days. So you're saving employers money. Employers would back this, and that's free, Dusty. Where's the financial cost of employers
Nothing
benefiting
is
employees
free.
doing
No, it's not. No mandates are free. Mandates are never free. I put the source in the back.
Mandates
I put the source
can
in the
be
back.
free. Yes, they are.
It's from the
What's a subsidy?
It's from the U.S. courts, uscourts.gov. I put the source back there that talks about the cost per person. It's $3,347, and this is in 2012 dollars. It's probably double that now.
So this is incarceration.
Read the look, Martae.
This is a false equivalent.
Look at the infographic on the right. Supervision
this is
probation.
for the criminal justice system. That's a false equivalent.
Then do you have a better example?
Let me go ahead and check your bullshit right now. This is why it's bullshit, because you're talking about housing, you're talking about feeding, and you're talking about supervision and
not on probation. Not on probation. You're not housed on
even
probation.
if you omit probation, when you talk about the criminal justice system, there's more oversight. This is a fitness program. This isn't a criminal justice program.
So how would you oversee it?
This is how we do this, and this is what I was getting to. That's free. Where'd he go? Oh,
sorry,
I
that was my
the
bad.
Enoverse
Sorry.
again. Okay,
Yeah.
So you're back. All right, this is what it is. Insurance offers premium HSA reductions for hitting activity goals, so you can track this.
That's not a mandate.
Opt-in employer auto enroll wellness
None
rewards.
of this is a mandate.
Get federal tax incentives. Where's the money for this?
That's not a mandate.
Hold on. Can
Why
you tell me
are
how
you talking about that?
money?
That is not a mandate.
You can mandate. Can you tell me if this is a mandate, how that's costing people money?
That is not a mandate, though. Why are we talking about insurance discounts?
Hold on.
Why are we talking about insurance discounts? It is not a mandate.
This is part and parcel with the mandate. Okay, if we have a mandate, we're talking about cost, because you brought up your $33,000 probation thing, and I just destroyed that right now. It's bullshit.
No, you didn't. You talked about. You need to calm down and listen to what I'm saying so you can respond on point.
Dusty, I'm not going to bite that fucking
Martae,
bullet.
you're not responding on point. Listen to me.
Where's the money coming from, Dusty? Where's the finances?
For what?
Where is it going to cost people money? Where's this money? That graph only shows the criminal justice system, which is a false equivalent.
Okay, so do you have a better what's a better comparison program that you can think of?
So there's better programs we have. We have companies that get breaks for rewarding 150 minimum weeks of activity, right?
Martae.
We can do $100, $500 a year gift card for discounts for not calling off sick. Companies already reward people for not calling off sick.
That is not a mandate. It's an incentive.
If something wasn't a mandate, do you think there are incentives with mandates? Do you think it's part and parcel?
Don't tell me. I'm not going to argue incentives with you. I'm talking about mandates. We're talking about mandates.
Mandate. This supports the whole premise.
Skip the incentive part and move to the mandate part. Move to the mandate part.
Hold on. The reason why this is idiotic to say that incentives and mandates don't go together. Do you think there's an incentive to lose weight?
I didn't say that.
Hold on. No, I'm saying that. Is there an incentive to not be obese?
Excuse me?
Is there an incentive to not be obese?
Sure.
Oh, shit. Is there an incentive to an employer when you're more healthy?
Sure.
Okay, so we can't talk about
Martae,
incentives.
we're not debating incentives.
Yeah, hold on.
We're not debating incentives.
No, this is part and parcel to
tell me about the mandate part.
This is justifying the mandate, Dusty.
No,
I can't.
Here, look, Dusty. This is what I need to know about. I don't need to know about incentives. I need to know about how you're going to enforce a mandate.
That's how we enforce the mandate, by giving incentives, Dusty.
That's not a mandate.
That is a mandate. Because here's the thing, though.
Hold on.
The enforcement is woven into the incentive. If employers are saving money and they say, we need to roll this out, this is something we have to do. And if you don't do this, we have right to work states. If you don't fulfill that quota, guess what happens? They can say you're not employable anymore. They can literally do this. They can fire you for breathing wrong in Arizona. Why would this be wrong for them to do that, Dusty? Can you tell me how this couldn't be a mandate?
It's not a mandate because it doesn't.
No.
It's here. Let me share.
Tell me why it's not a mandate. Tell me why.
I'm trying to, but you need to calm your tits down. Would you like me to share?
Why are you so focused on man tits, bro? Can you not be gay for a second? Let's focus and get back to this debate, bro.
Okay. Mandate, an authoritative command or instruction. That is not what an incentive is. You're arguing something else entirely.
So that's not an incentive.
An authoritative command.
The benefits of fulfilling this mandate due to your employer having a request, even if it's nationally prescribed as a mandate, is not a benefit.
Do you have the option to turn down incentives?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Then it's not a mandate.
No, it's a mandate because you don't have a right to. It's a right to work state. It's a mandate. You can refuse to. You can refuse to be employed, right?
No, you can. No, you can. You can refuse. Mandates. You can refuse to participate in the program. That doesn't.
If you're not an employee, Dusty, if you're no longer employed, guess what? You can't participate anymore. You can be terminated.
Companies can hire people who don't participate in that program.
No, if
yes,
we have this national mandate and you are 400 pounds and you aren't incentivized to lose this, guess what? Will you be employed underneath my mandate?
What's the expense to the company?
Are you a burden to the company in the nation?
So so you're wanting to do an indirect mandate where you pressure the companies.
You just confirmed that it's a mandate, Dusty. An indirect
mandate
I did not. Is still a mandate.
Hold on. Stop freaking out. Let's work through this. Hold on.
No,
let's go through this step by step.
You know what? Go ahead. I'm going to let you talk.
Let's walk through this step by step. Okay, so you're going to make it so that people who don't exercise regularly, whatever, cost the company money?
No, they already do. So if you're 400 pounds and obese,
we're talking about projection. We're working through.
These are facts. I can actually look this up and give you the stats on this.
I know that. I know how things are. I'm asking you.
Thank you.
I'm asking you how you would implement a new mandate. How would that happen?
I was actually in the process of telling you. I was lining it down before you rudely interrupted me.
But we need to take it one step at a time.
One step at a time.
Okay.
Insurance offer premium HSA reductions for hitting activity goals.
Okay.
These are the incentives that support said mandate that I have upon employment.
Okay. So
yes.
Okay. So let's run through the hypothetical. I'm an employee and I work for Martae Corp. And I say no. Then what?
Yeah, I can fill that position with somebody else who's willing to agree with my employer's standards.
Maybe. That's a big assumption.
Not even a maybe. Can I do that or not?
Not depends on the job market right now.
Hold on,
I haven't interrupted you.
I'm the employer,
Martae,
Dusty.
Let me finish talking.
This is your hypothetical, Dusty.
I know. What I'm saying is, you're saying yes, for sure you can. What I'm saying is, I can walk into any store around me and see help wanted signs posted on every window. There is not a surplus of labor. So you're wrong. Your assumption is wrong.
We have a national mandate.
Your
assumption is wrong. Employers, you will save a shit ton of money nationally on insurance premiums and everything else. Mm-hmm. Do you think that we would save people nationally money in taxpayers and incentives and employers money?
You are making an assumption about a labor supply that is false.
No, we're not even talking about the labor supply. We're talking about the requirement, the entrance fee to even get a job.
Wait, so unless you exercise, you can't even apply for a job?
No, we're not talking about unless you exercise. We have a fitness requirement.
Okay.
If you're 400 pounds and you are out of shape and obese, are you not a detriment to my company?
I'm not arguing that being healthy is better for everybody. It is.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Can you answer the question? I don't care what you're arguing
for. Is it a detriment to the company? It's less desirable than the alternative, but it's not a detriment.
No, I don't care about desire, Dusty. You're being gay, and we're not talking about your desires.
It's not a detriment.
If an employer doesn't want you, are you a burden to a company for 400 pounds?
Well, if an employer doesn't want you, then they won't hire you.
Dusty, you like dodge around this whole shit. Can you answer the question directly? Why are they not going to hire you? Are you not fulfilling these requirements? Are you a burden to the company? That's what I want.
This is your hypothetical. I don't know what your hypothetical looks like in the real world.
Your hypothetical. Dusty, you originally
in the real world,
right. Not me.
In the real world, which I assume the hypothetical will mirror, if you're overweight, they'll still hire you because fat people have jobs. Martae.
So in my national mandate that I roll out, these employers will be more inclined to hire people that are fit for duty. The military already does this. Schools already roll this out through PE programs and after-school programs and all this. That's already mandated anyways. We might as well roll out the rest of the mandate to make our country bigger, stronger, and healthier. Okay, I don't see why you would be opposed to this, Dusty. So you haven't given me a reason why.
How are you gonna prevent me from say I'm applying for a job at Martae Court and I say, oh yeah, I exercise all the time when I don't?
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and designate Fitbits. Everybody that works for my corporate is going to get Fitbits, and you actually have to track this. So that's also good. We're going to mandate this to where it's like all you got to do. And matter of fact, when you talk about the $33,000 probation, which I haven't seen anything for, I'm still waiting for that. It's actually free to go outside. I already gave it to you.
I already provided you that source.
So hold on. It's actually free to go outside and walk with your loved one for 30 minutes on a 30-minute walk and then say, hey, 30 minutes on my Fitbit. The employer knows this. We track this. And then not to mention that insurance premiums can lower. How would that be bad? That's free. Where's the cost at, Dusty?
The cost is in the Fitbits. And it's in the oversight of the Fitbits. And it's in the oversight. Hold on. Let me answer your fucking questions. And it's in the oversight of the companies. And there's expenses everywhere.
That's not oversight. The oversight doesn't. Remember what I said? HSA reductions. That money that already is a loss from the detriment from obesity goes right back in employers' pockets to pay for said Fitbits. You see how that works? The money that they would already lose.
I see how you're trying to make it work, but you're not seeing all the other variables. The money they would lose
from obesity and sickness goes right back into the company's pocket to provide for these.
Can you demonstrate that there's an exact correlation between using a Fitbit to track your walking and a decrease in heart disease? What's the correlation? Because I can look up Fitbits. I can look up Fitbits, and I can plug that into the population and figure out exactly how much money it's going to cost to outfit people with Fitbits.
Let me talk. So this is why there's an exact correlation. People that are more likely to be physically active and go for walks are less likely to make stupider decisions and live on junk food for the rest of their life. They're less likely to do this. This is a proclivity.
I want you to quantify it so that we can do the math on it, but also people who are, people make better decisions who exercise.
Yes,
I won't even debate that. But what I will debate, if somebody is forced to do something against their will, that does not mean that they're a better decision maker in other areas.
We're not forcing you to do this.
Then it's not a fucking mandate.
It's a mandate if you are employed. If you are employed by my company, you don't have to work for my company. Get how that works.
Then some people are forced to do it. Then some people are
forced to do it. Dusty, can you tell me how I'm wrong in a right-to-work state, which is almost every state in the country, how I would not have a mandate for my company? It's my company. And we roll this out nationally for companies, maybe federal companies. Actually, that would be good too. State companies too.
Okay,
right.
Let me just answer one.
How would I be wrong?
It's a mandate because you're not allowing people to work in that state. That means
two things.
I mean, two things.
Hold on, Dusty.
I haven't finished my point. That means two things. I have not finished my motherfucking point, Martae. That means two things. One, people who are exercising against their will ain't going to be happy about it. They're probably going to be cheating about it unless you've got a good oversight system in place. Two, it means you're going to have more people who are unemployed. Now, what are you doing with that expense, Martae?
So let me answer your two questions real quick. When you say people are cheating, the Fitbit actually reduces this unless I get my neighbor to walk. And then guess what happens? It's not saying that the Gestapo is going to report to you. It's just saying that, hey, is your Fitbit on and all this? It basically makes more accountable employees. And then not to mention that you're going to have more employees because you're going to have less people calling off sick, more people fit for duty showing up, and then people with less excuses like I can't get out of my fucking wheelchair in Walmart because you're not going to have those existing anymore. Guess what? We've remedied all these slow ass wheelchairs in the future that Wall-E, remember the cartoon? We're preventing this future from happening. So there's going to be more employees because of this, because you're going to have more capable people and functional people working.
You're going to make it harder to get a job. There's an extra requirement to get a job. It will make it harder to get a job because you'll have an extra barrier to entry.
How is it harder to get a job?
Because you have to engage in the fitness activity. That's a barrier to entry.
30 minutes of walking with your loved one.
I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to you. Nevertheless, it is an extra requirement. It will, and then especially if it's enforced and you have people not meeting the requirements, you'll have people losing their jobs.
Dusty, so are there things enforced by employers?
Sure.
Oh,
and they cost money. And they cost money. And they
How
cost
would that
money.
be reasonable to enforce that?
Okay, it would cost money. What I'm telling you is it costs money no matter what.
I told you where they're getting the money from. That's going back into the employer's pockets by incentivization. The money they'd already lose from people calling off sick would be a reduction. Okay. They're actually saving more money.
This is not an enforceable suggestion, Martae.
That is enforceable.
Let me ask you this about the Fitbit.
Fit for duty. Can you tell me how I'm wrong?
I didn't hear you because I was talking. I was trying to ask you a question. How will the Fitbit know if you're walking around the block or if you're just jerking off?
So if you're doing that and the Fitbit doesn't show the caloric reduction, because I know you're a minute man, they're only going to track one of your minutes, by the way. For the rest of the population, maybe they'll get 5 good minutes, but you're going to have 30 minutes, right? So guess what's going to happen?
Hold on. Fitbits count by shaking them, right?
Hey, Dusty, let's say that you're going to cheat and you're going to jerk off and maybe you're showing one of my clips without my shirts off. You're going to have to play one of my videos without my shirt off for 30 minutes because I already know you play it for 1 minute. So you're going to have to cheat that way. And guess what happens? You're going to have to maintain that standard and you're going to have to be more accountable for doing this. And guess what happens? You're going to fall off and you're not going to fulfill the company's requirements, Dusty.
So I just make a second part-time job as a cam boy and I jerk off every night. Then problem solved, right?
Yeah, 30 minutes, maintain your job. But guess what's going to happen? You're not going to fulfill the standards of this.
How? How would that not fulfill the standards? It's tricking the Fitbit.
I mean, you could trick it all you want to, but guess what's going to happen? The future always, the truth always comes out anyways. And not to mention this, but the Fitbit, when you have a Fitbit and just do this, it doesn't track it the same way as walking does. Go do the research.
I don't know. I've never owned a Fitbit.
So here's the thing, though. If you have a Fitbit and people are on laptops all the time and move their hands like this, how come it doesn't track steps? Oh, shit. Because you actually have to step with a Fitbit. So when you tell me that you're jacking off to my pictures, it's not going to work, Dusty. So don't even try it on me, bro.
I promise you I'm not. But let's because when you're typing, your hands are sitting still. Right? It's not the same motion. But you further prove my point that there's a lot of ways that you can juke out a Fitbit.
No, you haven't proved the point because people are doing this with their hands all the time, but it doesn't show steps.
That's not how you actually type. That's not how people type. You don't slap your hands down.
If you do this, like let's say I have a shake weight, it's not going to track steps. You realize that, right? It's
no,
not going to track steps.
I think it will.
You actually have to be mobile and have steps. Fitbits don't work like that. And you already told me I don't know how Fitbits work. And then you're going to tell me how Fitbits work?
Can I put it on my dog and let it run around the backyard?
Yeah, it's not going to work if you put it on your dog.
Why wouldn't it work?
It has to be attached to your flesh and wrapped around there. Go look it up, Dusty. It doesn't work on dogs.
I think that you're wrong, but I don't know for sure because I've never owned one.
You're wrong. You don't know. You admittedly told me you don't know what you're talking about, Dusty.
But what I do know what I'm talking about is economics. That's what my background is in. You tell me.
Cool. I economically showed you where the deficit is, where they're going to
and
get
I'm
the
telling
money
you,
at.
And I'm telling you why your model is entirely flawed. It's entirely
dependent. Show me the $33,000 probation cost, like whatever this is. I'm still waiting for that, by the way.
I put the link backstage. Vic shared it on screen. You're too busy reading Grok to notice.
When you're showing me the criminal justice system, you're talking about feeding and care and supervision.
This is why I need you to listen to me. I need you to listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Vic, could you throw that back up on screen again?
Yeah, that's control and custody cost. That's not the same thing.
Listen.
Not even remotely.
It measures both costs. This talks about both costs.
No.
Yes, it does.
That's completely false.
Yes,
so
it fucking does.
Can you show me how it's an equivalent of an employer saying, "Let me check your Fitbit"? Are they going to pay the employers more for checking your Fitbit?
Absolutely.
Show me where that's at.
Absolutely. Hold on. If you have a big company, absolutely, that's increased compliance costs. Absolutely.
No. Can you show me where they're going to increase compliance costs because of a Fitbit? If
somebody has to track it. Somebody has to manage it. Somebody has to intervene if employees aren't doing what they have to do.
Because that can be built in the system, and I can economically show you how that can happen.
Has to build the system.
Revenue in the company.
Then somebody has to build the system.
No, we don't have to build a system. We already have companies that actively do this with Fitbits with their
Then
employers.
you have to hire the fucking companies.
No, we don't have to. The cost is already built in the loss that they would have saved from not having people that are destitute employing for a company that are out of shape and fit for duty.
A private company does not save money because taxpayer revenue is saved. They're different payers.
No, what you're doing is you're going ahead and lumping in something else. Let's stay on topic right now. So you're reducing costs through incarceration through the federal system. Those are two different systems. This is a false equivalent, Dusty, once again.
Then I asked you to provide a better comparable system to probation.
I gave you a system. You want me to read off other solutions as well too, since you didn't want to adhere to the system that I already provided? Because you said,
hold on. Let me go through the expenses again. Let me go through the expenses again in your system. First, we've got the equipment. Second, we've got the employees that oversee the system. Third, we've got
extra cost for that.
Yes, there is. Yes,
no, there isn't, Dusty.
Oh,
you don't need an extra cost to say. Hold on, Dusty. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If I have a mandated paperwork that somebody else has to do, and it's mandated for everybody else to do, right? On the job, let's say that you're going to write a report at the end of the day, and that's a new rollout for an employee program, right? And let's just call this a psychological profile because we're in the area of feels before reals, and every employee has to write out how they feel, and they're going to get some incentive off of this. Is there any extra pay or anything else that they would say, we're going to tack this on because we're making you fill out this new paperwork?
Yes, you get paid to fill out the paperwork. You're on the clock.
They don't have to do that because they've done this throughout different programs anyways already. So here's the problem, Dusty.
No. We're not moving off this. We're not moving off this. We're not moving off this. Come back. Nope. Come back.
Nope. Policies change all the time without ineffective.
You are avoiding. You know you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. Dusty, have you ever worked for a company that changed their policy and their pay didn't increase?
Yep.
Oh shit! So you mean to tell me that you could change your policy without changing your pay?
When they changed policies, we got paid to attend the meeting where they taught us about it. We were on the fucking clock.
That's a false equivalent. That's time. That's your time.
They pay us for time.
Yeah, they're paying you for time. This is volunteering, but you're mandated to work for their company. Those two things can be married at the same time. Now, granted, if I have a requirement and I have quotas, I'm not going to be charged extra for this or have to pay my employees extra because of quotas.
Yes.
I don't have to do that.
When companies require somebody to fill out paperwork, take a random UA, do any of these things, they're on the fucking clock. They have to pay the employee. They have to pay the employee.
This is why this is a stupid premise. If they're on the clock and getting paid anyways, their regular salary, the pay doesn't go up or down.
I know.
That's just a time issue, Dusty.
But the productivity decreases.
No, it doesn't because they're more fit. No, hold on, Dusty. Will productivity increase if they're less obese?
That is a hypothetical, but we're not even there yet.
No, it's not a hypothetical. I can prove this.
Yes, it is. What we know for fucking sure. Listen to me. What we know for absolute sure is if I'm paying you the same amount, but you're doing less work because you have to divert time to filling out paperwork for the government, that is a cost to me.
It doesn't divert extra time. And matter of fact, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life, Dusty, by saying that if we have to roll out a new program, then we have to charge people more money. That doesn't make any sense. The Fitbits are included in the incentive that they're going and saving from people not calling off. And then, so here was the stupid thing that you said. You said it's a hypothetical that people that are in shape are less productive. Please tell me you didn't say this. That it's only a hypothetical that people that are in shape are more productive. That's a hypothetical.
It's definitely not quantifiable. Yes. Can you? It
doesn't have to be quantifiable. This is science.
Yes, it does.
Is science, Dusty.
This is economics. We're looking at the economics of the situation.
Is fitness related to science? Is science adjacent to this and woven deeply throughout fitness, nutrition, and sleep and all that?
Okay. First of all, Fitbits manually swinging the Fitbit back and forth does work. So you're lying. You're straight lying about how Fitbits work. Yes, you are.
No, it doesn't track steps the same way. Nope. It'll be off.
Users have attached their trackers to things like ceiling fans, power tools, or even pets to generate steps without any personal activity. You dumb lying fuck.
No, nope. It's not the same way. It doesn't track it the same way. And so here's the thing. Let me roll out my other solutions. I'm glad you brought that bullshit up too. So we have grants for parks, pass, free classes, prioritizing underserved areas like expanding Medicare, Medicaid, lifestyle counseling, and reimbursement. We can do this, roll this out at no extra cost to the employee or employer. This will actually save employees and employers more money. And
Martae.
it's non-authoritarian. That's non-authoritarian at all.
And it's not a mandate.
It is a mandate because you don't have to work for my company. We can roll this out and it'll save people money.
Martae,
Less burden on the taxpayer system.
First of all, that's not a national mandate. It's not.
So it is a national mandate because it's an incentive that's attached to the mandate. Companies.
It's an incentive. And it's not national.
Companies already get breaks for awarding 150 minutes a week activity.
There are lots of people who don't work for companies
already.
There are lots of people who don't work for companies. So that's not a national mandate anyways.
It is a national mandate because here's the thing though. If we have the state.
I don't work for a company.
Are they a part of the national spectrum of employers?
Not everybody works for an employer, Martae.
Can you answer that? If you are attached to a state agency and work for the feds, are you not an extension of the government?
Sure. But it's
so if these companies, which are state boards and federal boards, mandate this, is that not the same thing? If we say you can't work for us if you are 400 pounds and you're out of shape and you're not fit for duty.
Martae, does everybody work for a company?
No, you don't have to work for a company.
Okay.
But we can have a national mandate.
But it only applies to employed people.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to a homeless person and say you have to do this. So
then it's not a national fucking mandate. There are homeless people in the country. There are self-employed people in the nation.
This is why it's stupid. Are homeless people mandated to pay taxes?
They don't have income. Income taxes.
Shit. So they don't have income, so they don't work. So they're not mandated, Dusty.
Income taxes don't apply to somebody who has no income. But fitness mandates.
If you're not an employer, you're not mandated.
Everybody has a fucking body. So fitness mandates would apply to everybody.
No. Taxes don't apply to everybody, and that's mandated, Dusty. It doesn't apply to people who are unemployed. So why would
income taxes doesn't? Sales tax does. Sales tax does.
Hold on. No, because that's built in. Is it nationally mandated for people that work taxes?
What do you mean it's built in?
Is it nationally mandated for?
What do you mean it's built in? You just said something. Before you move on, what does it mean it's built in?
So when you buy something that's a tax, it's already included in the product that you buy. Now back to what I was saying.
Homeless people buy things, Martae?
Dusty, can we get back to this? Because
we are talking about this. Do homeless people buy things?
Yeah, they pay things.
Of course they do. Well, they pay taxes.
Hold on. Does the mandate of having employer federal tax apply to homeless people? That's mandated nationwide.
Income tax. If you don't have income, it doesn't apply. But sales tax.
Federal tax. Well, they even say federal tax. Does that apply to homeless people?
If they don't have income, then income tax wouldn't apply. There's all sorts of federal tax.
Okay, cool. Is that nationally mandated?
Yes.
Okay, so we can have a nationally mandated program that doesn't apply to everybody.
It applies to if you have income.
Oh shit, Dustin, come on, bro.
Does everybody have a body? Does everybody have a body?
Yeah, everybody who's homeless also has a body and doesn't have to pay federal taxes.
Exactly. So if there's people who meet the requirements but aren't required to do the thing, it's not a national mandate.
No, the people who are homeless have bodies and they don't pay. A lot of them don't pay federal taxes. This is a stupid premise that you're offering right now, Dusty. So anyways, back to my solutions because you have no solutions and no argument on your end. The IRS credit gym. Dusty, the IRS already credits gym membership trackers anyways. Are they wrong for doing that?
No, they're fine with doing that.
Okay, cool. Is it
a mandate?
Is the IRS a nationally mandating service?
What? You redo that sentence so it makes sense.
Does the IRS nationally mandate what they do?
Only over people who engage in certain activities.
Oh, activities. Okay,
Right.
let's follow this train of logic. Activities. So that means there are people that don't opt
They-
out of national. They opt out
So
of
the
national
IRS,
program,
the
right?
IRS oversees everybody who has income.
Dusty. So there's people out there that don't follow a national mandate, even though it is a national mandate, right?
Well, I mean, that would prove my point.
No, that proves my point because it can still be a national mandate that
But
not
it's
everybody follows,
It's
right?
not nationally applicable.
It is nationally
It's not
applicable.
universally
If you
applicable.
are employed by somebody, you have to pay federal taxes.
Right. And not everybody's
Right.
employed.
So
But
if you're homeless,
not
you see how
everybody
that
is
works?
employed.
It doesn't work for everybody. You have to be
okay,
employed.
so in your program, there's people who are in the nation who have bodies, but who are not mandated to exercise. Is that the case?
Yeah, if you have homeless people and they decide not
Okay.
to be employed,
Those
Yeah.
people make up a bulk of the government expenses for healthcare. You know that, right?
say that again, Dusty, because I didn't hear you.
People who are unemployed make up the bulk of taxpayer-funded health care.
So here's the thing, though. A lot of people that are unemployed, what condition are they mostly in? Are they really healthy?
It depends on a lot of things.
No, I don't want it depends. Answer
It
the
does.
question. Are
There
they
are-
mostly healthy people?
It does depend on a lot of things. There are absolutely homeless people that are in
No,
better shape
no.
than both of us.
By the requirements that I have for people to not make excuses and have more accountability, are they healthy by let's say okay, I'll give you a hypothetical. My company wants you to work for us, but we can't have you in the obese range. Are most people that are unemployed falling into the range of obesity? According to the stats of 2030, 60% of Americans are going to be obese. Do you think a lot of these people don't have money?
I think they
They
do have
don't.
money.
They're at the low income bracket. These people
Wait,
are
you think
fat
fat people don't have money?
No, when you talk about destitute people, did you look at the clip that I rolled out, the video that showed the stats?
Yeah,
the
it
woman
didn't-
talking
it
about
was-
low income people gaining more weight because they're buying cheaper products and not making
Do
wiser
you think
decisions.
fat people don't have money? There aren't rich fat people. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not talking. So that's not what I'm saying. You're warping the question. When we talk about low
Well, the
income
question is
families,
stupid.
are low income families generally more fit or less fit?
Are we talking about low income families that have working people? Or are we talking about
rely on
destitute?
EBT and choose not to work and use
I don't know.
excuses
I
and
don't
lack of
know.
accountability?
I don't know. Which are they?
So according to the video, we just saw that. I can play it again, Dusty, if you want
Play it
me
again.
to.
Play it again. Yeah, let's do that.
This
Stop
is
looking at
crazy.
Grok. Stop. Don't you look up
You
over.
want me to-
Don't you look up in that corner anymore?
I need a good argument out of you tonight, Dusty, and I've yet to hear this.
All right. Do you want me to play the whole thing or a specific?
I'm
part?
really
just the video
I'm
part.
really just looking for the claims about poverty tying to obesity, so that I can
No,
see.
low income people. Go ahead.
Okay, low income.
An eye-opening new study out of Harvard predicts nearly half of the U.S. population will be obese by 2030, with a quarter of that group expected to be severely obese.
The results show that severe obesity will be more common in women, non-Hispanic Black adults, and in people with annual incomes below $50,000 per year. Western Mass News is digging deeper, speaking with local nutritionists to learn more about prevention.
Research
Okay, that's
published
good.
Thursday in the New England Journal of Medicine.
Was that it or more?
I think that was it. So
Okay.
So they're saying yes,
people
will be fat.
Yes,
People will be fat, and
yes,
it
Dusty.
and it.
And they're going to have more excuses why they can't work. Is that true?
Why would that be true?
So if you're going to be obese and you're going to be your comorbidity rate goes up, right? And it's bad. Are you going to be more susceptible to calling off sick, less employable, even by no mandate reasons? Would this go up?
I don't think that you've demonstrated that at all.
No, I can logically give you an entailment on this. So if you
I can
are
and
400 pounds,
I can logically tell you
Yes.
why that's bullshit. Why
Let me tell
your
you why
mandates
it's not
hold on.
bullshit.
Your mandates would cause way more people to be unemployed, off work,
No.
missed days. Absolutely. You're putting new
No.
barriers to having a fucking job, Martae. That means less
Dusty,
people will
Dusty,
have
so-
jobs.
So you're telling me that people that are more in shape, more functional and
Nope.
capable, and more fit for duty are going to call off work and be less likely to work?
I'm telling you that people who lie
No,
and
wait,
get
hold
caught.
on. Answer the question.
I'm telling you, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people.
No,
That's not what I'm saying. Let me tell you what I am saying again. What you just said is not what.
Fix it then. Fix it.
What I'm saying is that if you have a extra requirement in order to be employable, there will be people who are no longer employable because they don't meet those requirements. Those people will be for sure an extra burden to the state.
So you're already saying that they're an extra burden. If we decrease that burden, will we have more employable people or less?
How are you going to decrease the burden of people who get fired?
Answer the question. I don't want to hear how.
No. Your question doesn't address my objection. Your question doesn't address my objection.
Dusty, answer the question.
You're ignoring my objection.
Be more employable or less employable?
You are ignoring what I said. We're not moving on from it. We're not moving on from it.
Dusty, I don't care. I asked you a question. Would you?
I don't know why you asked me a question because you haven't addressed my point.
Dusty,
what was the point again, Dusty?
My point is that if you have people who, if you have a new requirement for being hired places, that will necessarily mean that there are people who get fired for not meeting it or who never get hired in the first place. That excess population of unemployed people is an increased financial burden to the whole system.
Okay, I can address that. So you're going to actually have a more increased population of employable people because these people are going to have less excuses, less baggage, less weight, less health concerns, less likely to call off sick, more available, more fit for duty people. How would this be less employable people? Which goes back to the thing that I asked you, which I never got a question answered for, Dusty.
Because people lie about things that they don't want to do. And if you have to mandate health, hold on. And if you have to mandate if you have to mandate fitness to get a job, people will for sure be lying about it. Some of them will get caught.
Dusty, can I lie? Okay, if I show up and I have a dating app and I see women with pictures from here on up, could they be lying about being 400 pounds?
Sure.
Do you have to actually show up and show yourself physically how you look and in your BMI and all that? Can people physically see that when you show up for a job interview, Dusty?
Hold on. Is fitness tied to how you look or how you act?
A lot of that is tied to how you look and act. Yeah.
Okay.
They're both in conjunction with each other. Yes.
I don't exercise daily. I don't look fat. I don't know.
Cool. You'd have to demonstrate this through your work performance. Put on the Fitbit and comply with company orders. That would be great, right? How would this be wrong? You still haven't told me that either.
There are fat people who also exercise.
Yeah. These fat people are more likely to develop a risk than other people that are more in shape.
What I'm telling you is that looking to see if somebody's fat is no measure of whether or not they're doing the work to be in shape.
It is. We physically have people that have to buy 2 plane ticket seats because they can't fit one. We can objectively tell when somebody's not fit for duty, Dusty.
Martae, aren't you a personal trainer?
I was for many years. I'm also
don't you know fat people who work out daily and don't lose weight?
Yeah, people that are lost and don't know the way around the gym. But guess what happens? They don't cut it and they don't meet their goal. So guess what happens?
They don't get to have a job?
Oh, hold on. No, Dusty, let's follow this entailment. Okay. There are people that work out and don't lose weight because maybe they have an endocrine disorder or something like that, right? And they can't get it fixed. But once they get this fixed, accountability goes up, productivity goes up. They're less sick, less likely for a chronic disease and health, and less burden on personal trainers, Dusty.
Do all of them get fixed?
Are we talking about exceptions to the rule or my mandate, which would be
I don't even think it's an exception. Do all of them get their endocrine issue or whatever you said fixed?
The endocrine systems are really a monopoly of complaints that people have that are adjacent to what we put in our food, which is my next point.
So some of them don't get their problems fixed, though. We're not ready for the next point. We're not ready for the next point. What I'm saying is,
we are ready for the next point because you're not making any good arguments, Dusty. So back to this. We have companies putting in artificial things in our food.
Martae,
that would also be part of the mandate, which would save consumers money. If we take all of these if we take all of these stupid things out of the food, which are fillers and things that are actually ruining people, if you buy something for $1.99 at the restaurant, like fast food, it's actually costing you more money because you're getting fat and you're going to cost the health system more money. I think that
hold on. You made a wrong claim there.
First of all,
we're not ready to move on. We're not ready to move on.
Save lives here too.
We're not ready to move on.
We are ready to move on. You're not even proving the previous claim that you said, Dusty.
Vic, can we go back to the previous point?
What was the previous point?
Martae is trying to insinuate that you can see fat people and that's how you know that they're cheating. And I made the obviously correct point that not
cheating. That's a mischaracterization. You want me to really say what I said? I'll repeat it back to you, Dusty. When you see people that are objectively obese, you can see that they're objectively obese. I didn't say anything about cheating, Dusty.
Now, what will that tell us as far as whether or not they're doing the work? Are there fat people who do the work?
So there are indicators that we can see. If we throw a Fitbit on you, it's going to also read
Are there-
BMI.
okay.
We're also gonna, so the Fitbit isn't the only thing that I'm going to roll out. We're going to
Hold on,
have
hold on,
registered
hold on, hold on,
BMI
hold on,
that we can
hold
look
on,
at.
hold on.
We're going to have goals that we want employees to hit. In any employer that you work for, they're going to have goals and mandates anyways. We might as well just
No,
roll
they're
this
not.
out because it's going to benefit the
No,
company
they're
with
not.
less sick
No, they're
times and
not.
call off days.
If that were the case, then companies would already be doing it. There's lots of companies.
There are companies that are already doing that right now, Dusty. What are you
Most
talking
of them
about?
are not. Most are not.
Right. That's the purpose of me having a mandate so we can have a fitter
Because-
nation, Dusty.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They're not. If it saved them money, then they would be doing it voluntarily.
Dusty, the reason why they're not saving money is because a lot of people are indoctrinated to say, hey, because it's cheaper, it's going to be better. And
Let
that's
me-
not the way that I want our nation to think. If we
Let me
roll out a
explain something to
mandate, we're going to take PepsiCo, Nestle, and revamp what they put in their products because fitness
Oh my
involves what people eat as well, too. We're going to change that.
You're
How
throwing
many-
so much spaghetti at the wall, and none of it is
No,
sticking.
this isn't
None
spaghetti.
Listen to me.
You don't
The-
get, Dusty, you don't get fat
the
from just
reason-
working out.
In a free market, okay, a company wants to make money and save money, right? Don't you agree that all of them want to do that?
Yeah.
Who is the CEO of a company? What is their main job? Who are they beholden to? The
They're beholden
shareholders.
to the client and customer.
To the shareholders. To the shareholders. A CEO
Well,
answers.
hold on. If their shareholders give them a lot of buybacks and pay them out, and the customers don't show up, will they have a company anymore?
No, they need customers,
Oh
but they're
shit, Dusty,
okay.
please.
No. You're not winning
This is
this at all.
horrible,
You're just
Dusty.
confused. You're confused about how business
No,
works.
I'm not confused.
A CEO's
dumbass point, Dusty.
responsibility. Listen, I'm teaching you something. A CEO's responsibility
No, you're not teaching me
is
anything.
to the shareholders.
Dusty, does
If-
every company have shareholders?
Or they have ownership of some type.
Oh
Yes.
shit, Dusty. No, throw that out, Dusty. It's a
Shareholders are a
trash
type of
point.
ownership. Yes, they do. They do all
That's
have
a
ownership.
trash point,
So-
Dusty. Anyways, moving on.
No, we're not
I'm gonna
moving
move
on.
on
You
because
keep trying to
I'm
move
not getting
on.
anywhere
You
with
keep
this.
trying to move on because everything that you say is.
I keep trying to move on because you have moot points, Dusty.
You don't know my fucking
Awesome.
point yet. You don't know my point yet.
You told me the point. Do companies have shareholders? Not every company has a
That's not
shareholder,
the
right?
point. They all have owners. They all have ownership.
Yeah, in
Okay.
a leader and owner.
I-
right,
all
but
I'm
that
doing
doesn't
is
mean that they
stop.
have shareholders.
Let me
Not every
unroll
company
this
has
point.
shareholders.
Marte, will you calm down? You're losing this, and you're going to lose. There's nothing you can do
No,
about it.
I'm not losing this
Yes,
because
you
you're
are.
making moot points. Can you
The-
actually make
The
points?
yes, the reason that it matters who the CEO is beholden to is because if it were actually profitable for a company to have exercise requirements, they would already be doing it because it would generate more profit for the owners.
No, that it doesn't work like that, Dusty.
Yes, it does.
There's no way. No. The problem with our nation is indoctrination. If we have indoctrinated people that accept the lifestyle and they are not educated on fitness, which would be a part of my national mandate to educate people,
That's
walking
an
30 minutes
expense.
a day does this.
That's an expense.
That's not an expense. So when we had Reagan with the national fitness program rolled out, was that extra money just to have an informative discussion with the nation? Was that an extra expense?
Yes, you dumbass.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Just to have somebody speak at this, they could do this for free. We have I've shown up to schools and publicly spoke to students for free about this.
Okay, how did you get there?
There was no expense, Dusty.
How did you get there?
I went there because I knew that they were underfunded.
How did you get yourself there? Did you
Oh,
drive?
you're going to talk about me using gas to get there? That's not
Yes.
the expense I'm talking about, Dusty. I'm
What's
talking
the
about
expense though?
appearance
I know
and
that's not the one you're talking about, but it exists.
No.
That's
We're
why
not
your
talking-
whole that's why your whole premise
you're
falls apart
equivocating
because
on-
there are
no,
expenses
that's
that exist that you're
I'm not talking
ignoring.
about that, Dusty. What I'm talking about is an overreach, an expense.
There
Driving
are
somewhere and just going up
expenses.
and volunteering.
There are expenses
Hold on,
that
hold on,
exist.
Dusty.
Dusty,
you're
if
ignoring.
you
Hold on,
volunteer
let him
for
finish
something,
his
do you
point.
count that as an expense for volunteering to help people out?
If you're mandating it, it's not volunteering.
No, hold on. No, we're not talking about the mandate because you brought up volunteering.
No, I
Showing
did
up.
not.
Dusty,
I
when
didn't bring it
talk
up.
about somebody speaking at the national summit, like it's some presidential campaign, and they're not getting paid for this, did they volunteer to do this during a mandate that's being rolled out?
So two things. One, there is an expense. It's to the volunteer. First of all. Second of
No,
all.
It's not an expense.
If
you're
you
volunteering
have
for something, it's not an expense to you.
to the
You're
person,
volunteering for this, Dusty.
bro. This is crazy. I can't believe you're okay.
No,
Ignore that.
this is
Second
not
point.
crazy.
Second point. If something is mandated, it's not voluntary.
So, no, you can have voluntary status during a mandate. right? Did people people volunteer to get the stabby jabby or choose not to work?
They did both. Some people did both.
You can be a volunteer during a mandate. Dusty,
there are people. Hold on. There are people who would do things voluntarily that are mandated.
So you can do things voluntarily during a mandate, Dusty.
But that is not all of them. That's not even most of them.
Just like the homeless people that I brought up that don't pay federal taxes. Dusty.
So what about the people?
Jesus.
What about the spots?
Crazy, bro.
Okay, so you think that there's going to be volunteer educators for all the spots for all the education that needs to be done?
So
can you name me one example of a voluntary school that operates year round for that anything close to that scale of people? Name me one.
You're talking about PE programs?
Any sort of an education. Where's their free education given?
There's a lot of free education given. So we used to have, matter of fact, I'm going to bring up a Christian reference.
For the whole country.
Hold on, Dusty. You asked the question. Can I answer this, or are you just going to talk about me? So back in the day, we used to have a group, right? It was a Christian group that, and I'm pretty sure Vic or anybody else recognizes, they used to rip a phone book and go to schools and talk about fitness. They didn't charge anybody. They volunteered to do this as a Christian group. They used to go to schools and educate them on health and fitness. Did that exist back in the day? Did that exist as a program?
How many schools did they make it to, Martae?
They made it to as many as they could.
Okay, so we already have a system, and you can assume that that's all of the volunteers who are volunteering to teach fitness. I've never heard of it.
Hold on, Dusty.
Hold on. No, let me finish my point. I've never heard of it. So that means that they're not making tons of schools. There's most of the schools they're not getting to. That's a huge deficit of educators that you would need to hire.
I agree, which means that we need to have this mandate because there's not enough people volunteering and people stepping up to the plate. If we have this national mandate, people would be more incentivized to do this through educational programs, which don't cost extra money to put this in a curriculum.
No, they would not.
This would not. No, this
having a mandate does not make people want to volunteer more. It doesn't.
We already have PE programs that are mandated. If you fail PE, guess what happens?
We're talking about
You're not going to eliminate the curriculum.
We're not talking about for schools. We're not talking about for kids. Right. Do the PE teachers volunteer or do they get paid?
You're always going to have people being paid during a mandate anyways. But here's the problem, though. That's always existed. My new mandate would be in addition to this, which would actually incentivize volunteer people to show up, which would help employers by reducing costs of people not calling in sick or actually being a laborsome, burdensome on the company.
Mandates do not incentivize volunteers.
You're going around in circles right now. Go ahead.
Because you're saying dumb things that you can't demonstrate.
Can you tell me what's dumb about anything I've said, Dusty? I'll wait.
Mandates do not incentivize volunteers. Volunteers can already volunteer if they want to.
Hold on. So when the volunteers who did the stabby jabby, the companies didn't get kickbacks from Pfizer?
Then that wasn't
incentivized. Hold on, Dusty.
We're talking about educators. We're talking about educators. Leave it in context.
Hold on, Dusty. Hold on. Don't bullshit me now. You're caught now. So were companies not incentivized during a mandate during the stabby jabby?
I don't actually recall because I wasn't working. No, I don't think they were.
They were. And we had people that could volunteer to do this.
How were they incentivized? Hold on. How were they incentivized?
Pfizer gave kickbacks to companies. They not only gave kickbacks to companies, but they incentivized the employer for doing this. And oftentimes, even if they didn't, they said, we're incentivizing you by keeping you employed.
So the company got money.
Otherwise, you don't have to be employed here.
The company got money from Pfizer and the government?
Yeah, there were kickbacks to companies for doing this, yes.
So those two institutions paid the expense. What I'm saying is there's expenses for all this shit.
Yeah, no, there weren't expenses. No. There weren't expenses for this, actually, on behalf of the company. They didn't pay any expenses.
But somebody did.
So when you say somebody did, my national mandate wouldn't give additional expenses out of taxpayer pockets to have to do this. Because remember when I talked about in the beginning, if you have a Fitbit, this is a reduction of costs from people not calling out sick, being lackluster in employment and holding people back.
You're speculating.
All that money goes back into the company to produce Fitbits. How am I wrong for this?
Okay, let me tell you. Because first of all,
feasible,
I'm trying to tell you, stop asking the question 1,000 times.
You're not answering the question 1,000 times, Dusty. Can you answer
the way that it's not profitable is because A, you have an upfront cost of the Fitbits. B, You probably wouldn't reduce any time off.
Dusty.
Hold on. No, let me fucking finish, you piece of shit. B,
Dusty,
you would not
I don't
have
give a shit.
reduced time off because
Dusty.
people already have, most employees already have PTO, and that's how much sick time they use per year.
Dusty, do companies start out in the red and see profit in the beginning of their company?
Not all of them.
Right. So you're gonna have upfront costs that you're
Not
gonna see
even
on
the
back end
majority.
because-
Not even
Dusty,
the
hold on, I
majority.
didn't
Not
interrupt
even
you.
the
You're
majority of them.
right now too, because I'm a piece of shit to you. You're a piece of shit to me. Whatever. Let's get back to this topic. So companies are in the red when they start out a product, right, or a
No.
company.
No.
So in the back end, this is normative, right, for any mandate or rollout.
I don't know why you're moving forward like you're right. Like I just said no.
We're on
No,
the
that's not the
subject.
case.
This is your topic, Dusty. So when a company
That's why I'm
starts
telling
out,
you you're wrong.
Dusty, the upfront cost that you'd see when companies start out in the red, they'd see in the interim in the back end when people are not calling
Martae,
out for work, not being lackluster as employees, and holding.
Let me explain again why you're wrong.
employee.
Let me explain again why you're wrong. Because
No, I'd love to hear, I haven't heard it all night.
Will you shut the
Let
fuck
me
up?
have it, Dusty.
Shut the fuck up. Because it's wrong. Because most employees in this country have a certain amount of PTO. They're gonna, and
Dusty,
most employees.
that's what they're
No,
doing.
hold on. And most
They're
employees
not calling off work. They're saving PTO.
they don't get. They use up their PTO.
They're not gonna use
Nobody
PTO
returns
if
PTO to
they're
the
healthy.
employer.
If they're healthy, they're not using their PTO. They're using
You're
it less.
retarded. No, all of them use all their PTO.
Yeah, so if you're talking about like vacation times, that's like a reduction, right?
It's all
Now
lumped
they're
together.
using hold on, Dusty. Now they're using PTO for other reasons, not for being sick. So that's a reduction, saving the company money, Dusty.
No, if you take 3 weeks off a year, you take 3 weeks off a year. It doesn't matter why you take them off.
This is like the dumbest shit I've ever heard in any debate.
You're right.
I've had
It
a
is
lot of
dumb as
sick
fuck, but
people
you don't know
debate,
why.
Dusty.
It is dumb as fuck, and you don't know why. Okay, Martae,
Dusty.
if you get 3 weeks of PTO a year and you're now healthier, you get sick, let's say 3 less days a year, are you going to return the PTO that you are allotted?
The company is having more production. Are they not?
You didn't answer my question.
Are they going to return that?
Yes.
That's up to the every company works differently. But here's the thing though, the company's saving money in the interim. Are they not?
No, they're not.
They're okay, so if they have people call off less, they're not saving money?
Oh my God, Martae. I just told you.
Their production isn't stagnating.
People
It's actually
take off.
their production is either neutral or going up still in functioning. It's not going down. They're not having dwindling
Do you have any
production.
numbers to
because less
support this
people are
wild
calling off.
speculation?
Are they saving money, Dusty? By
No,
people
they're
calling
not.
off work?
They're not saving money. This will not
They
save
are
anybody
saving
money. It is a massive increase in cost to everybody.
No, it's not. So you're saying that more productive people are a massive cost to
That's
companies?
not what I'm saying.
Dusty,
I'm
I know
saying
that's
that
your
implementing
usual MO and how you act behind
what
the
I'm
camera.
saying
but
is
let's get
implementing
to
your
the
cumbersome ass program only works when you're doing exactly what you do, which is ignore all the fucking expenses that would go into implementing something like that.
Where's the expense coming from, Dusty? I've yet to hear this. People not calling off work is costing the company more money? That's like the dumb. Let me make it.
Martae,
fifth
that's
grade
not at all what I
for you,
said.
Dusty.
That's not at all what I said.
No, that's what I'm saying, Dusty.
I know.
People
But what
calling
did
off
I
work
say?
is costing the company money because
What did I
that's
say?
literally what you just said before this.
No, it's not at all. That's never been
No,
what I
that's what you said.
said. What
You said
did I
people
say?
taking less PTO is costing the company
Hold on.
money.
Okay, I'm going to tell you again.
Dusty.
I'm going to tell you again, and then I'm going to ask you.
You can rewind this
Hold on.
back and see
First
if you do
expense,
that,
the
Dusty.
Fitbit. First expense, Fitbit. Okay, do you got that? What was the first expense?
Yeah, companies are in the red when they start out. Are they not?
No, they're not. They're not. But what was the first expense that I told you?
So no companies in the red when they start out?
Martae,
Companies are in the red when they start out
Martae,
sometimes?
what is the first expense, Martae?
You mean the expenses that they're saving from people not calling off work? Which is where this comes
What
from?
did I say was the first expense, Martae?
The Fitbit would be producing
Yes!
savings. That's not an expense. That's not an expense if it comes out of what would already be sick days and the lack of production from the company because they're saving money. So all these savings.
Hold on. No.
Dusty, hold on. I've let you talk. All the
No,
savings.
no, you haven't. No, you actually have not.
Before this Fitbit.
You actually have not let me talk. You keep interrupting and repeating questions.
No, because you're interrupting me, Dusty. What the fuck?
Well, you keep trying to move on to things when we're not ready to move on.
No, I'm not moving on. We're still on the Fitbit. How have I moved on, Dusty?
Okay. Is the Fitbit
your
an expense?
topic right now?
Is it an expense?
Is it an expense?
Yes.
So the Fitbit, when they pay for this from the savings that they make, isn't an expense.
The savings that they make is, first of all, I don't think they won't make savings because they're already doing PTO. What they will have for sure. Let's hold on.
So
There's two sides of the balance sheet.
PTO or less PTO.
Hold on. Let's do both sides of the balance sheet, Martae. You have the Fitbit expense. You have the department. Let's call it HR. You're going to have to hire at least for a small business one more employee to manage the health requirements. Don't you agree?
Don't need that. You don't need that.
How will we know if the people are meeting the requirements?
So let's say I have a personal business and I have personal trainers.
Uh-huh.
Would I need another person to monitor Fitbits if I have like a team of 15?
Yes, you would.
No, could I do that myself?
Well, you're doing other things. You're running a company.
No. Is it possible that I can do this myself with a tracker?
Martae, anytime you add an additional,
Dusty, do we have the tech to have an all-in-one in one phone? Dusty?
You don't understand opportunity cost. That's what it is. Every minute that you spend, every minute that you spend, do you know what it is?
Dusty, is it possible?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what opportunity cost is?
Dusty, let's stay on this topic. I don't
care
about
about
your.
We're on this topic.
No, you're moving the goalpost right now to opportunity cost. Can we stick to this right now? So
That's
if I was a personal trainer, Dusty, I have an app, right? Mm-hmm. There's an app on my phone where I have 15 slots right here that show 15 personal trainers, right? Of course, I have a cross on my thing. That scares the Christ out of you. But anyways, I have an app on my phone that shows 15 slots. Can I manage this by myself? Do I need another person to do this when apps can include 15 or more people?
Is it distracting you from other things that you could be using your time productively from?
So can personal trainers multitask? Do we do this often?
I hope not. If somebody's paying you for your time to train them.
Often. Dusty, as a personal trainer, I've been a counselor. I've been
Martae, that proves my point. Just because
no, it doesn't.
Because you're a shitty employee. You're a shitty employee and you're not doing work. You're playing on your phone.
I'm a shitty employee, even though I've had somebody show up to the Mr. Olympia. I've turned 7 people pro already, but somehow I'm shitty. And that's an anecdote, which we can throw out. You're not a shitty employee if you're able to do more work. That doesn't make you a shitty employee if you're more capable and competent in what you do, Dusty.
So what you're saying is that you think this will come out of people's free time. People will volunteer their free time.
This is when they're already working. If I'm a personal trainer and I have 15 Fitbits on here that I'm monitoring, that takes like 5 minutes.
Martae, it doesn't take a lot of. Maybe it does take 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes for one person running a small company. We're talking about all the employees.
5 minutes. Oh shit, Dusty! Such a burdensome thing to do, Dusty.
Is it an increased cost?
All right, guys. The hour is over. The hour is over, guys. Thank you very much.
Anyways,
how are you doing, Vic? You look like.
Let's have a poll. Hey, can we have a poll, Vic, to see who had the?
Yeah. I'll get a poll.
Yeah,
I'll get a poll started right now.
I'm actually curious how that poll will go on your end. I'll do one on my end too. I wonder if yours I could even say that you won.
Dusty, you've had the stupidest points in this whole debate. There's fucking dumb.
I know.
And you're an economics major? How are you an economics major?
I could explain it to you, but you wouldn't be able to understand it.
You haven't explained the $33,000 probation cost yet. I'm still waiting for that. Which goes back to my point. You know what the fuck you're talking about.
I gave you the fucking link and he pulled it on screen 3 times.
No, that link doesn't show where this cost comes from and who it comes from. It shows a false equivalent of a criminal justice system, not a fitness mandate. That's crazy. You want me to use a false equivalent?
Hold on. It's a comp. It's a comparable. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not comparable. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen, Dusty.
Okay.
We're going to compare the criminal justice system to telling people to take 30-minute walks?
Yes,
this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Yes, no, it's not, because we're talking about oversight of individuals.
So are employees that work for a company inmates? Could we compare them to inmates? Or are they voluntarily working for a company?
The tracking an individual person on a daily basis is the same whether it's because they're inmates or because they're not exercising. Yes, it is.
No, do we track time cards of employees and call them inmates?
Are they exercising on the clock or on their personal time?
Do we pay employers more money for tracking time cards? You know how many things are tracked by employers?
How many? Not fitness, not their fitness.
No. These are things that are trackable in monetary.
Martae, the entire exist. There are.
Can't answer the question, Dusty.
Businesses have entire compliance departments that only exist because it takes time and resources to follow government mandates.
Dusty, do employers track employee progress in other ways?
Yes, and it costs money.
No, they don't say we're going to pay you extra money because of the tracking. No, but that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
The employees don't get extra money. The employer has to pay
extra money. They don't get extra money. You just contradicted yourself.
No, Dusty. I didn't, Martae. Stop spazzing out. Listen to me. It costs.
Because this is ridiculous. You're making me laugh, Dusty.
It costs the employers money. It does not go to the employees.
Okay, so that goes back to my point. Employees not calling off sick and boosting production. Does that not balance the cost of what we would say of what your counter would be? Does that not balance the cost?
U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that about 418,000 compliance officers were employed in the U.S. That's a massive cost to implement these sort of things.
In my personal training hypothetical, did I need a compliance employer to do the job I already did?
Hypothetical isn't compromised. There's tons of businesses. This is a compliance requirement.
No,
this is what a compliance.
Do I need a compliance? Dusty,
418,000 employees are compliance officers. That's just the officers.
Dusty, do I need a compliance department to monitor tracking when people clock in and out of shifts?
Yes, you need people to do that.
No, I don't. One person can do that by themselves. They don't need a whole department to do this.
Everything tracked by the business is an expense to the business. Did the
employer do this, or did they have a whole different department do this?
It doesn't matter if one person did it.
Dusty.
No, it doesn't.
It matters, Dusty.
It's an expense in every case.
No, it's not an expense.
Yes, it is.
One employer can do this by himself. He doesn't have to outsource. That's extra cost to hire extra people to do what you can already do, Dusty. Economics, you're failing right now already. I can already do this without the extra cost.
You're just lying, Martae. It costs. Do you think these 418,000 people work for free?
They're getting paid on the clock what they already get paid for saying if people clock in and out on time. Are people getting more money or less money for making sure their employees clock in and out on time?
Martae, I don't know how else to tell you this. Yes,
all of this is tracked.
No, Martae. You can't. This is an additional step that the business has to take. It is an expense.
It's not an additional step.
Yes, it is.
People have
yes,
meetings.
It is. Yes, it is.
Do people have performance meetings monthly and say we're going to pay extra because we now have to do performance meetings?
Martae, it's an expense.
No, Dusty, answer the fucking question. Do people?
I'm not going to ask any more. I'm not answering dumbass questions. This is an expense.
It's tangential to the topic. Can you answer the fucking question?
All right.
But it's an expense.
Fucking idiot, bro.
Okay. All right, guys. It's been very spirited, but we got to get to these closing statements. All right.
Dusty has no soul, therefore he can't have a spirit. But anyways,
Dusty has no soul. You know, the way to a man's heart is through his soul.
Yeah, you're clipping pictures of me when I was shirtless. Tell me more gay shit.
Why were you making such dumbass videos?
Why were you looking at pictures of me young with no shirt on?
I went through your old video.
Hey, bro, why are you being so gay clipping me with the no shirt on, bro?
Don't you want people to see you with your shirt off? It's all your profile pictures and everything.
That's all you talk about, Dusty.
No, it's not.
You brought it without shirts.
You brought it up. You brought it up.
Gay, apparently.
You brought it up. I wasn't talking about it at all. You're constantly bringing up
Dusty.
Martae. No, you brought it up. You're constantly bringing up.
You brought up a clip when I had no shirt on. Why do you always infer gay shit?
You know what? Do you want to go first on closing statements, or you want me to?
Let's hear your statement. Go ahead.
Dusty.
My closing
Dusty,
statement
you
is,
go first.
You want Martae to go first?
Go ahead. No, you go first, Dusty.
Okay. My closing statement is there are tons and tons of expenses that Martae is ignoring and saying those aren't expenses when obviously they are. The economic measure for this claim fails not just a little bit, but dramatically. There's no way to implement a national mandate without just ballooning expenses to people. Furthermore, what he's suggesting isn't even a national mandate because it wouldn't apply to everybody, and the incentive structure isn't a mandate. There are no penalties for it. It's not an authoritative command. Dude is confused about what words mean. Finally, Martae, I don't know why you constantly bring up your own shirtlessness or videos or whatever. You constantly bringing up the gay shit and then accusing other people of being gay. But you're the one that brings it up. So why is it that you want people to be gay? Is it because you're closeted? I think it is. I yield the rest of my time.
All right, let me reset the clock. And Martae, whenever you're ready.
This is Rich coming from my opponent who's sent me 2 notifications tagging me in video shorts, and you can go to his page of me without my shirt off, but then infers that I like to bring up gay stuff when he is around 10th man in Cosmic Fox who are actually fucking gay. So I think that you are the sum of the people you hang around with. I don't hang out with gay people, but he does, but he wants to infer that I bring up gay shit all the time. Yeah, dude is sus for real. But anyways, back to this. He says that I'm confused about a national mandate, but here's the thing that I'll even ask as a question, which he's never get it. This guy is a question avoiding machine. You basically want people to be paid for volunteering, the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. And then not to mention this, but if presidents like Roosevelt or anybody else developed a mandate, we would never have an obesity crisis to begin with. We would actually prevent this and have a stronger nation. And then not to mention this, but I actually talked about recouping the cost. Yeah, sure, every company in mandate is going to have red tape. They're going to be in the red in the beginning, but guess what's going to happen? The savings come afterwards. That's how reality works. And if this guy's an economics major, he's failing to prove me this all the time. Like, I literally asked the guy for, where is this conflated with some probationary period in the criminal justice system for telling people to walk 30 minutes a day with their loved ones? Somehow he's making a conflation to an inmate that works for a company. Somehow this doesn't make sense to say like, oh, I'm on lockdown right now, I have to clock out. And then my employer somehow is getting paid extra for making sure that I clocked into shift on time. All of this doesn't make any sense. But when I break it down to elementary terms for my opponent here, he doesn't make any sense. He's not only a question avoiding machine, but he's also blaspheming with this on his head right now. And then when he talks about the gay shit all the time, look at his page. He's got shorts of me with YouTube shorts with me with no shirt on. But anyways, I mean, I'll concede my time because his whole argument was stupid. He's never justified the criminal, I would say the criminal justice system conflation that he made to fitness when it's me telling people that you should go outside with a Fitbit for 30 minutes and walk with your loved ones. Not only does this incentivize a fitness program, reduce costs by people calling off sick less, reduce the obesity epidemic, but also you're actually strengthening relationships because guess what? I get to walk outside with my wife for 20 minutes a day and do physical activity. Hell, we're actually increasing productivity by fighting the birth rate decrease. By maybe you can wear a Fitbit and have sex with your wife. Hell, that's going to also increase the birth rate. But there's so many ways I can go with this, but he never wanted to move forward. And why is that? Because I would have destroyed him on all the other solutions that I had for this rollout program, which costs nobody nothing. It actually saves people money on the back end because you're going to have a less, you're going to have a less obese nation, more people capable for duty and reporting for work. And also the military recruitment rate would bounce back up.
Martae, do you actually believe?
Needless to say, I can see my time as my opponent didn't have anything but.
Do you actually believe what you just said? It wouldn't cost anybody anything.
All right, thank you very much for that closing statement, Martae. All right, Dusty, you are unmuted now.
Oh, do you actually believe that? Do you actually believe that it wouldn't cost anybody anything?
So when you say, if I'm going to drive to go volunteer for something, you're going to say, oh, but it's going to cost you gas to do this. I'm volunteering. So you want people to get paid to volunteer?
What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Just do you actually believe that this mandate would not increase cost, that it wouldn't cost anything?
It wouldn't increase cost. I didn't say it wouldn't cost anything. It's not going to increase costs. It's actually going to save money. If it costs
something, then that's an increase in cost.
No, it's going to save money from the back end. We're actually reducing costs and strengthening employees and also our nation's military by doing so.
Is it a mandate or is it a suggestion? If
we mandate this, would recruitment rates go up or go down for the military?
I don't have any idea. They probably wouldn't be affected.
You don't. The biggest, they are affected because of fitness mandates. The reason why a lot of people can't get in the military is because they're not fit for duty and they can't fulfill the physical requirements. That's also another reason why people can't get on the police force.
Would your fitness mandate fix people's, I don't know, nearsightedness or flat feet? Most people who aren't fit for duty.
That's up to your obfuscation. No, can you answer the question?
Most people, Martae, most people who are not fit for duty, it's not.
Dusty, you're still fucking doing the bullshit right now. You're not doing that with me tonight.
It's not because they're fat.
Would military recruitment rates increase if people are more fit to pass the entry?
I don't know. Maybe even if it would, it doesn't reduce cost.
Yes, they will. To say I don't know is fucking stupid. Would people pass a police test if they're more physically
people are not failing because they're too fat.
If they're too fat, that goes back to my mandate and why the importance of this is significant.
So you would have everybody mandated to get a handful of people thin enough to pass. That doesn't make any sense at all. It'd be way more cost effective to just train those few people.
So
let me finish. For an extra 3 months, if you put those people in boot camp for 3 more months, that'll work. That solves the whole problem that you're addressing.
Dusty, is there already a mandated entry for military like requirements that we already have? Is there already a mandate already? Do they have an expectation for you to be fit for duty?
There's not a mandate to be.
There is.
No, there's
so
not.
In order to get in there, doesn't the entry have to be acceptable by military standards?
Are there standards for people wanting to get in? Yes, there are.
Are those standards a mandate by the military?
No.
That is a mandate by the military. Yes.
No.
That is a mandate.
A mandate, a national mandate? That's a national mandate?
No, I'm talking about the military.
Exactly.
Is that a mandate for the military?
What's the prompt say?
So Dusty, let's go back to this since you're losing on that and you want to back up to the prompt because you're getting fucking bodied on that. So
we're debating the prompt, you dumb piece of shit.
So back to the prompt since you're getting fucking destroyed right now. So back to the prompt. If we roll out this national mandate, would employers have less people call off?
No.
Yes, they would have less people call off. The number one reason why people call off is because they're sick. Because they're sick.
That's what they say.
Dealing with their physicality, something that's affecting their core morbidity. That's the number one reason people call off work.
Bodybuilders actually get sick more often. That suppresses your immune system. You should know that, bodybuilder Martae.
No, can you show me the evidence on this?
I don't know if
I'm not buying your empty assertions or eating your dumbass bullets.
Immune suppression, the combination of intense training, caloric deficits, and nutrient deficiencies weakens immune systems, creating prolonged open window of vulnerability to infection.
Where did I hear bodybuilders in? Where am I hearing that specifically related to just bodybuilding?
Here, I mean, it's the AI response on a search.
Oh, so you're okay. So you're going to tell me that I use Grok and you're using Grok during a debate. That's fucking crazy. Anyways, and you're accusing me of looking at AI and you're looking at AI right now. This is fucking wild.
It's a
Vic,
Google
you
search.
heard it first. He just accused me of using AI.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. No, hold on. Yeah, wait, Vic. He was like, why are you looking at Grok? Look over here and pay attention to the debate. And then he goes to look at Grok.
Because you ask Grok to make your arguments for you. You ask Grok to make your arguments for you.
You're accusing me of doing the same shit you're doing right now. Go ahead.
No, they're different.
It's fucking stupid, bro.
You ask Grok, why is bodybuilding not gay?
Okay, all right.
You can use AI. You can use AI, but I can't. Crazy.
Okay, so let's get to the Q&A, guys. All right, let's get to the Q&A. All right, let's do this. Okay, we can do it, guys. Come on. All right.
Fucking retard.
How long, Nate, for the $5? Thank you very much. Stop subbing to Destiny's OF. Hit the like, subscribe, and share. Quit the butt stuff already. Okay, thank you very much, Nate.
2 gay things in one sentence is crazy.
All right, Jersey for $4.99. All right, Dusty, enough white knighting for Sarah. Let's go.
It has nothing to do with Sarah.
All right. Thank you very much, Nate, for the $5. 60 current owners of the jacket poster. Hit the like. Don't be a freak. All right. Intel is wild for $2. Powder Dusty has a micro wing.
The instance of gay comments to super chats is massive on your side.
All right. Mr. B for the $5. Hey, Dusty, why is your first thought about a new law? How can I lie about it or cheat the system? Do you think you're broken inside?
Because the reason that there are laws is because people don't want to do it. I mean, do you think people don't try to get around laws? Of course they do. That's why we have law enforcement. Law enforcement is a massive industry. It costs a lot of money to enforce laws. See,
because
there you go. You're even wearing the hat.
Dusty, I'll beat you on the drug debate too. If you want to get bodied in that one too, we can do that too.
Let's set that up.
You just like taking L's. Okay, next super chat. Let's go.
You can prance around and claim I won, but you did not win at all.
All right. So Vic, the more objective thing is to roll out a poll. So
Martae, you said that the cost would increase.
You're just stuttering.
You said that cost. I'm trying to remember how you phrase this. There would be more costs, but they wouldn't
increase. You're the only
increase.
one on the panel that's possibly sucked dick because you're around 10th man and Cosmic Fox. Go ahead and talk. Let me hear the rest.
Tell me again how you phrase it. There would be extra costs, but they wouldn't increase costs.
Dusty, are we gonna? Do you want me to just?
What I'm pointing out is that you don't even know
rudimentary
what the
terms
fuck
for you
you're
again,
talking
Dusty?
about. You don't know what you're talking about, and you.
I do.
You know that
I
you don't know what
elaborated
you're
on
talking
this,
about,
and this went
too.
over your head, Dusty.
No, it did not.
Okay, so the cost savings to a company that doesn't mean shit to you, and that went over your head
It's
too.
not real cost savings because it's speculative and it ignores all the very
not-
real
So
and it
I asked you a
ignores the
question.
very real expenses.
Dusty, if people call off work less and people are more productive, is that not saving the company money? You've never answered that.
They won't call.
Oh, can you prove it? That's the dumbest shit ever.
No,
That's
because
the
your
stupidest
question
shit I've ever heard.
is built on the assumption that they will call off less. They won't do that.
Oh, so you're using an assumption.
No,
You're
you
using
are.
an assumptive claim.
You're using an assumption.
No, that's proven.
I'm
If I
calling
show
you
up
out
to
on your
work and
assumption.
I'm more productive and not sick. That's literally
will
going
not
to
call
save
off
money and
less.
reduce production cost.
Employees, full-time employees
interim.
have PTO. That's the amount of time people take off.
Dusty, you're a fucking idiot. So if I have people that don't call off work and my production doesn't lag, guess what's going to happen? Production.
They're still going to be calling in
My company's not going to make money if I can't produce, Dusty.
they have PTO, you dumb fuck.
Dusty, you can say
What?
dumb fuck all you want to, but at least make a sensical point.
I've been making them all night.
No,
I can explain something to you, but I can't understand it for
Dumbass
you.
Dusty, this is stupid.
This is stupid.
Yeah,
Okay.
on your end. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, World Radio, for the $10. Our leasing company did that when we absorbed higher health insurance costs when we purchased another company. We used pedometers and health bonus incentives. Our group went down after 2 years. I believe that's
So then it's already working.
Oh,
Hold on.
shit.
Then it's already
So they
and
save
they're-
money in the interim.
some of them do that, but the ones who don't do that have made the
Don't
decision not
save
to.
money. So the ones that don't do that don't save money. My mandate would
Martae,
save national costs
Martae,
and
if
reduce
it-
the
if it
obesity
saves
epidemic.
money, you're-
Thank you, Dusty.
If it saves money, then why are their businesses not doing it?
Because there are a lot of stupid people. There are homeless people that don't pay federal taxes. Why aren't they working? It's the same stupid shit, Dusty.
Marta, you don't know what a
Your
mandate
argument
is.
doesn't make any fucking
You
sense.
don't know what a mandate is. You didn't know
I
who
do know
the
what a
CEO
mandate is. A mandate
You
can
know-
have people volunteer for this. During the stabby jabby, I've demonstrated what a mandate is because we have people volunteer for the stabby jabby during a mandate.
Our
and people that
mandates-
refuse to volunteer for this.
There was not a national mandate
I've
that
also
people get.
demonstrated that companies got
No,
incentives
you
for
haven't.
taking the stabby
Because
jabby
that
too.
wasn't a national mandate.
That was a
No,
national
it was
mandate.
not. No, it was not.
Yes,
Not even
Dusty,
close.
this is so fucking stupid.
It was
Dusty.
a temporary mandate for employees
Oh,
of
temporary,
government.
is a temporary mandate a mandate?
For employees
Hold
of,
on,
of
no,
government.
Dusty. You said it's not a mandate, and then you said it's a temporary mandate. You just
Okay,
contradicted yourself.
But for who? For who?
You fucking idiot.
It's not a national mandate.
That is a national mandate.
No,
If it's a temporary
no, it's
mandate
not.
nationally, it's a mandate, Dusty.
No, it's not. It's only for people who work for the federal government or were contractors. That's not national.
You mean like my mandate that would only be for the federal government and contractors and businesses? Oh
Well,
shit.
that's not a national mandate either.
That can be nationally mandated
No,
for
it
federal
can't.
contractors, not affect everybody.
That's
That
not a
can still
national
be a
mandate.
national. Are there people that opt out of national mandates?
Not national mandates. No.
Yes,
A
there are
national-
people that opt out of national mandates. There's
There-
a national
if
mandate to
you
pay
opt
federal
out of
income
something
tax,
that
but
is a
homeless
nat-
people don't pay this.
If you opt out of a national mandate, there's a penalty.
Is there a national mandate for employers and employees to pay federal taxes?
There's a mandate for people of income.
Answer the
national.
question. Answer the fucking question.
Who have
Is there a mandate
income,
for
who have
people to
income.
pay federal taxes that are employees and employers?
Does the prompt say for employees?
Dusty, this is
Hold on,
part and
no.
parcel of the national mandate.
Is the prompt constrained to any group? Students, employees, any of that? No.
You can't even answer that
Prompt-
people can opt out of this program.
Prompt-
Can people opt out of a national mandate?
No.
They did this during COVID.
No, they
You
didn't.
idiot. They
That
did this
was-
during COVID because they
was
refused to
not-
work and they said, I'm willing to be
No,
unemployed and not
Martae,
take the stabby jabby.
Martae,
Hold on.
If
I'm
you
opting out of
wanted-
the
if you
national
wanted
mandate.
it
I will
to
not
only-
take the jab.
You should have phrased your prompt different then, because it doesn't say.
No,
for-
I phrased it correctly. You're just fucking
No,
losing
you
at
didn't.
this. Vic, can we get to the next super chat? Because this guy's
A national
boring the
mandate
shit out
applies
of me.
to everybody. It doesn't apply to just students. It doesn't apply to just employees.
Oh, you mean like the federal income tax, which is a national mandate, doesn't apply to everybody, especially homeless people that don't work? Oh,
It
shit.
applies to
Fucking
taxpayers.
stupid.
It applies to taxpayers, not the whole nation.
Oh, so it doesn't apply to everybody yet. It's a national mandate.
It doesn't apply to the whole nation.
Oh, shit, Dusty.
doesn't.
What's the next super chat? He's not fucking making a point.
Martae, there's tons of
Okay.
people that don't pay income taxes.
So people opt out of a national mandate from paying federal tax. Yeah, cool. Cool story.
It's
Okay.
So
Let's-
where's the qualifier in your prompt?
It's fucking stupid.
Where's the qualifier?
All right,
in your
guys,
prompt?
Fucking idiot.
let's get to the next question here from Kokomo for $10. What stops people from putting the fitness tracker on their cat or dog to do the activity for them? I believe this would go to probably Martae.
Yeah, so if there's people that are doing this, there are people that can cheat the system and try to opt out of this. It doesn't negate the fact that it would still have a national mandate. We can still have a national mandate and people try to cheat the
Can you
system.
answer the question?
That doesn't negate my point.
Can you answer the question?
I did.
Okay, so nothing would stop them?
Yeah, there's nothing that stops you from doing coke and heroin, and you could still work for a company. You could be a functioning meth addict, which I believe maybe you are because you're
Actually,
obsessed with my
there
picks.
are things
But
that stop
back
you.
to this. There's nothing stopping you from being a functional meth addict and going to a company. But guess what happens? If you are found out and you aren't subscribing to company policy, they can release you from work. Is that true?
Then, okay. And then what happens? Then I become unemployed, which is a strain on the system.
Which
right?
sucks for you. Sucks
And
for
the
you. But guess
system.
what?
And the
Now
system.
No, it doesn't, because if we have a more
And-
fit nation, we have more people that are capable of replacing the people that we lost.
And-
Oh shit, Dusty.
No, we don't. This
Yes,
is
we
again
do.
another economic assumption that's just wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
yes,
Are more fit people more likely to be employed than obese people?
No,
What?
no, they're not.
You mean to tell me people aren't declined from the police force
They're-
because they can't do a 5-minute run?
They find other jobs. If somebody's not disabled and they're
Right,
capable
there
of
are
joining,
people that get disqualified
you
because
need
of
to let me
already-
finish my
already.
point. You need to let me finish my point.
You're
If
proving
people-
my fucking point. Let's get
No,
back to the next super chat.
You're spazzing out and shouting over me because you know that you're wrong.
You haven't tell me I'm wrong doesn't show me how I'm wrong, Dusty.
Well,
Anyways,
every time I start
next
talking, you start
chat.
freaking the fuck out.
Because you're not making any points, Dusty. This doesn't make
Because
any
you're
sense.
freaking the fuck out every time I start to talk.
Telling me I'm freaking out, but not making any points. You realize that's not making an argument, right?
Okay, so you want me to make arguments? You want me to make points?
If you can make
You're
one
gonna-
during
you're
this
gonna- are you
whole
gonna
hour,
stop
that'd be
spazzing?
great, Dusty. If you can make one fucking point, that'd be amazing. I would love it.
Yeah. So the people that get caught cheating, they're now unemployed, so they're a burden on the system. The people that do the catching, the cops that find people cheating, they're an expense to the system.
No,
Yes,
because
they
if your employer finds out that you cheated on some schematics to some build, does that cost the company money because of errors that you made?
Then I'm
If
getting,
you're
then I'm
an
getting fired.
architect,
No,
if
no,
you're an
no, no.
architect,
I
you
would be
cheat
getting
the
fired
system,
for the
you're
fuck up,
lazy
not
at
for
work.
the employee, not for the fitness.
Hold
thing.
on, no, I'm answering your question. If you're an architect and you cheat on the schematics and you do lazy work, would that cost the company money because you're not fulfilling their quota and policy?
What does that have to do with fitness?
Okay, if you're not fit for
Nothing
duty,
at all.
if you're not fit for duty and you're lagging the company behind because you're not fit for duty and you're obese, are you not costing the company money because you're dragging everybody behind?
Architects don't need to be physically
You could
fit.
do that.
No.
Yes, you could be dragging the company behind. You could be a
Architects-
burden on the company and economy.
This is architects don't need to be in shape.
No, I'm giving you a hypothetical of an equivalent
know,
of somebody
and I'm
not
telling you why
fulfilling
it's dumb.
requirements from a company.
Architects don't need to be in shape.
Okay, let's go back to the fitness thing because you're making you can't even follow up. How would you feel if you didn't eat your fucking crack cocaine this morning, Dusty?
I'd probably be withdrawing.
Okay, so you can follow a hypothetical that's actually pretty accurate,
But
by the way.
Martae,
But back to
you
this.
You need
So-
to
so
adjust your
Dusty-
hypothetical instead of trying
Dusty,
to
back to
stand
this.
on it harder.
If
Because
a person is obese, are they more likely to call off or less likely to call off for work because of comorbidity?
the same. It will not reduce PTO or the time off in any meaningful manner because employees,
So
full-time
fat
employees.
people
There you go
don't
again. There you
call
go
off
again.
work
All
more
right,
than
Vic, let's go on.
fit people.
Let's go on, Vic. He's spazzing out again.
No, you can't even answer the question. Fat people don't call off work more because of
No,
comorbidity
Martae,
issues.
I
than fit
started
people?
answering it again. You just can't stand to hear the answer because you know that you're wrong.
Anyways, I brought up the meth thing and you've admitted to it. But anyways, let's move on.
It was a hypothetical,
All right.
right?
Yeah, I doubt it was.
If you ask a hypothetical, am I responding to a hypothetical?
Your name is literally Powder Dusty. You have powder in your name, so how would I not think that powder was anything related to your past? And you admitted being a drug dealer.
Does crack come in rock or in powder or rocks?
You're more of a subject at Max.
I thought you worked for the DEA.
Anybody on this panel about that?
For the DEA.
I concede, Dusty. No, I did not work for the DEA.
Why were you telling people that then?
I never told people that. Look back at the stream. It's HSI, not DEA.
We've had 2 discussions about it on my channel.
Dusty, stop lying and review the footage. It's basically on your channel because you're
I know it is. Why did you say you worked for the DEA?
No, I said Linda, who was our district director, worked for the DEA.
Your boss worked for the DEA.
Go back and look at the footage. That's exactly what I said.
Martae, why did we have 2 discussions about it when you knew that I was under the wrong impression?
No, hold on real quick. I can actually go to a neutral party and ask this.
No.
So Vic,
Martae, I'm asking you.
Hold on. I'll go to a neutral party and ask this. Vic, did I show you evidence of me working for HSI?
Why did you allow me?
Hold on. No, hold on.
Martae, we had 2 conversations about this.
You're getting body right now. Vic, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
I just want to ask you a
conversation.
Yeah,
hold on.
Vic,
did I show you evidence of me working for HSI?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, then why were you allowed? Then why did we talk?
Anyways, let's move on.
We're not moving on. We're not moving on, Martae.
You're fucking gay. Let's move on. Yes, we are moving on.
Stop spazzing. Calm down.
I'm not going to engage, Dusty. You can talk to yourself,
Why aren't you going to engage, Martae? Why are you scared to engage the topic?
Because you're not moving the conversation forward. Let's get to super chats. You're
not allowing me. Martae, why
I don't have to. That's how force works, right?
You're intimidated by you piece of shit.
Or whatever. You're attracted to it because you have it all over your page. It's fucking gay.
Martae, you don't want to talk about you getting caught in obvious lies again and again and again, huh?
What lies?
Like how we had 2 discussions where I said you were a DEA in the title and you never corrected me.
Okay, so if I don't correct you, is that me lying?
Yes.
You're a fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. This guy's a fucking... Anyways, move forward. Let's move forward.
You don't know what a lie by omission is? Look that up.
If I don't correct you, that doesn't exactly mean I'm omitting that. The conversation was about me
being
having
a conversation about your job as a DEA agent, and you're not one. That's lying.
All right. You know, okay. If you guys want to resume this after the Q&A, we can. But let's get back to the Q&A, guys. There's people are sending in more supers. Let's get to these questions. Excuse me. Kokomo for $20. I would have expected the 4 to come with a plan for a national mandate, how it's enforced, what exceptions, and how it would be funded. You would have an offset factor of decreased health costs with a healthier population.
Yeah. That's true. This would offset all the costs. That was my whole point. In any company or any mandate that you have, you could have red tape, but you're going to save money in the back end because all of this saves companies money and time because you're going to have productivity increase, less sick time being taken off, and you're also going to have, I would say, a fitter economy and a more productive military. So all of this produces better for the U.S. I think we need that. This guy's against that. This guy's against comorbidity rates going up, believe it or not, which is nonsensical, of course, by the ex-drug dealer here.
Are you done? Can I go now? Okay. Your savings are speculative. The cost...
No, it's not speculative.
Okay, so you weren't done. Go ahead.
The chatter before had talked about how his company saved money by rolling out this new program, and they saved premiums in the past and all this. I actually came out with the intro and showed you this and actually talked about the logical entailment of this.
You're making claims that are speculative.
That's not speculative.
The savings is speculative. What's not speculative is the expenses.
You've literally agreed that a company that's more productive with less call-offs would make more money, and then you contradicted yourself because you realized you're fucking...
I disagreed that's what you would get with your mandates.
You're assuming that. We all know how the
body works. You're assuming that you would.
If I call off sick, is the company more productive or less productive?
Martae, is it coming out of their PTO?
You're not going to answer questions tonight?
Is it coming out of their PTO?
You're going to answer questions with questions, right?
Because your question is stupid. It ignores the fact that people have PTO.
Tell me how it's stupid. Tell me how it's stupid then.
Because PTO is a benefit. It's part of their compensation.
Did I say PTO or sick
People use all their PTO, Martae.
Did I say PTO or sick days?
All right, guys. Okay, listen.
Right, fucking idiot.
It's the same thing.
We went through this. We
This
went
guy's
through
a
this
fucking
in the
retard.
debate already. I feel like we're going back to some of the old arguments, so let's move on. Thank you. Let me bring back the screen. Thank you very much, World Radio, for the $5. They came to my school in Watsonville, California, 55K population. These bodybuilder fitness men who shared their testimony in Christ and fitness.
Yeah, that was my whole point. They didn't look at volunteering as a cost. They volunteered.
But Martae,
There's a difference between being charged and volunteering, right?
It was a cost to them. They footed the bill.
Did they say, oh, okay, do people who volunteer say, oh, shit, it's with great cost I'm volunteering? Do people say that shit normally?
They do it voluntarily.
No, they don't say that.
But is it an expense
You're
to them?
a fucking idiot, bro.
Martae, they still, whether or not they're mad about it,
better debater than you.
Volunteers
me to say that
still
too.
incur expenses. There are expenses incurred, Martae.
Are you sure you're not pulling a cart too? Like, this is crazy, bro. Your
It's
IQ
not
level
crazy.
is
It's
stifling.
not crazy. You're deflecting. There are absolutely
No, I'm not deflecting because the chatter just brought up a good point.
Yes, that's fine. They went to his school. They didn't go to mine.
Right. This is why if we increase this national mandate, we would have more of this happening. More volunteer work.
No, we wouldn't.
More education, more knowledge.
Okay, why do you think
this program would be brilliant to be rolled
why
this
are
out?
people volunteering now? Why do people need a mandate to volunteer?
Because our educational system is rife with abuse and I would say infiltration by companies like Nestle and PepsiCo, indoctrinating our students to eat shit food. If we change that,
all you'd be doing is expanding the government, giving them more opportunities for abuse.
No, we're not doing that. We're actually doing a reduction of cost. If we save taxpayer money by having less people sick, guess what's going to happen? We're going to have a more productive nation, you idiot.
So you don't think that there's increased costs in oversight and present?
There doesn't have to be. You haven't demonstrated how one person can do 15
We've got
tasks.
education. We've got monitoring. We've got equipment, right, with the Fitbits. We've got enforcement. These are all massive expenses.
Can one person look at a Fitbit and say this one person's not doing what they should be doing? Can one person do this?
One person can look at one Fitbit. Yes. Can nobody?
Okay. Can an app show 15 people on one app?
Can nobody look at all of
that we can do multitasking?
Can nobody look at all of the Fitbits?
What the fuck are you saying, Dusty? That makes no sense. That's what I'm saying, Dusty.
What you're saying is nobody needs to look at any of them.
If I looked at 15 of my trainers on my app, do I need to outsource that when I could do that one thing and it takes 2 minutes to do?
Do you run a massive company?
Do you answer questions with questions instead of answering them?
You can't do that if you run Amazon.
Can you answer a question without a question? Can you fucking answer a question, you fucking idiot?
Because your question doesn't address the problem.
One person do this without recruiting another person?
No, they can't.
One person can't look at 15 people and monitor them from an app?
Do all people work at 15-person companies?
No, can you answer a question without asking a question?
That's why I'm telling you why your question doesn't apply.
Answer a question without answering a question, Dusty.
Your question does not apply.
You're a retard, bro.
Regardless, it's still an expense. Yes, it is.
I give up. You're a retard, bro. It's crazy.
All right. So next question is from Ken. So what if there are expenses? The long-term benefits of having a healthier and more fit population far outweigh those expenses.
That's absolutely not true. Well, the benefits. So
hold on, how is
Martae,
that not true?
this question's for me. Okay, so the benefits that you talk of, not economically, not financially. I demonstrated easily how it would be a much bigger expense. So, but if you're saying that you value it more, well, I can't argue with that. That's a subjective thing. Maybe you do value fitness more than money, but as far as quantifiable terms, no, it would be definitely more expensive.
Okay, now let me answer this. So it's not subjective if you look at the human anatomy, and the human anatomy is walking. The biggest disease that we have in our nation is inactivity. So if we increase activity in our nation, guess what happens? Health increases. If we also reduce some of the additives in our food and do all this, morbidity rates go down. This isn't subjective. This is objective reality. The more active a person is, the more inclined to fitness they are, the more healthier an immune system is.
You know what is subjective?
You're an idiot. You know nothing about this shit.
What is subjective is whether or not the benefits outweigh the costs.
No, that's not subjective. This
Yes.
is objective. If more
Okay, so
people,
is money
active-
or which one's more important, having a healthy population or saving the company money?
having a healthier population saves the company money. It's already built in
No,
the pie.
no, they're
Idiot.
different. No, it doesn't. No, it's not built in. That's what I demonstrated.
Also, hold on, Dusty. Can two things be true? Can these two things be true?
Yeah, but you need to have a priority.
Oh, yes, it can be true. Fuck out of here, Dusty.
Of course, you asked if two
you're
things could be
sucking
true.
me, bro.
Of course, two things could be true. You could be
I'm glad
retarded.
I'm
You
glad
could
I
be
said that.
retarded and short at the same fucking time. You can be a liar and a gay porn star at the same fucking
I'm
time.
glad
Of
that I
course,
accepted
two
this
things can be
basic
true.
blown the fuck out. Matter of fact, Vic, let me know when you produce this poll because I'd love to see the results on this.
Yeah, we'll do the results after the Q&A. Let's move on to the next question. Jersey for $1.99. Dusty getting smoked. Anything you want to say to that, Dusty?
No.
Okay. World Radio 332 for the $2. Truck Stop Dusty, aka Methadone Pope. Dusty, sit down.
All right, I'm gonna take turn. I'm gonna take a moment and read my super chats. Then, I'll go ahead.
Dusty, they're actually not all about like this. They're not all talking bad about you. Okay.
I mean, if you want me to sit here and respond to them, then get to the ones that are actually questions.
So you want me to just skip the ones just saying negative things about you then?
Or you can hit them, but I don't know why I would sit here and honor your super chatters more than mine.
All you got to do is just
He's
say
the
no.
host.
I got nothing to say, and then I'll move on.
He's the moderator. You're not moderating this.
And I'm here voluntarily.
I'm here voluntarily too.
I
so I'm at
know.
the behest of his platform. We're not on our platform. We're on his platform. You fucking idiot.
So why would I honor his donors more than mine?
Dusty, tell me a debate
No,
platform.
answer me that.
Wait, hold on, Dusty. No, this makes no sense. On James Coon's platform of Modern Day Debate, does he have them read out their super chats or only his?
I don't know.
No.
Hold on, Martae, are we there? Are we there?
Hold on.
Are we there?
Sarah, the Aging Potatoes platform.
Are we
does she
there?
make people read out their
Martae.
super chats, or does she only read hers?
It doesn't matter. Where are we?
No, it does
Where
matter.
are
You fucking
we?
idiot. You said this
Martae.
like it was something that was
Martae.
not universal.
Martae, this is voluntary for me.
Yeah, which proves my whole fucking point. It's voluntary for me, so we're at the behest of the same fucking host that we're on.
We're not behest to anything.
You are through voluntary status. Yes, you are. You can choose not to be here, Dusty.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right. So he can read his super chats. You're not the moderator. You're telling him how to run his platform. This is stupid.
All right, look, look, guys, look. If you don't want to answer, just say I got nothing to say, and I'll move on. Okay. That's
Well,
it. That's all
I just want to look out for my super chatters if they're paying me.
Dusty's
I don't know.
getting emotional over here. That's what this is. Go
That's
ahead,
not
get
emotional.
emotional, Dusty.
I'm prioritizing my super chatters over
You're
yours.
prioritizing emotion right now, Dusty.
No,
Let's get
you're
back to
getting
super
emotional. I'm prioritizing my super chatters. So
All right, this
I
is
have
an actual
chat-
question.
okay.
I have
This is
chats
an
too I
actual
can bring up, but
question.
I'm not going to do that because I'm respecting the host.
Yeah, this is an actual question. This is from Bandit for $2.
Mhm.
Dusty, define volunteering. People be paid for it? Question.
Something that you do without having to be coerced. People be paid.
Okay.
Will they or could they?
Let's see. It just said define volunteering. People be paid for it? Question.
I suppose that you could have something that's voluntary and paid, but generally when we speak of volunteering, it's an unpaid position.
All right. World Radio 332 for $5. National mandates doesn't need to affect everybody. It's a rule that has a federal reach across each state, but it can be limited and specific.
Okay, well,
Facts.
I disagree with that. That's not how the prompt is set up.
No,
So,
we have
if
federal.
you
we have
if you
people that
wanted
do
if you
federal
wanted to
taxes.
refine
Only
it,
they opt out.
if you wanted to refine it, you could. But the way the prompt is it's nationally mandated.
Yeah,
It's not
federal
it's
income
not-
tax is nationally rolled out, but people opt out of that all the time. It only affects a subgroup of
It-
people who are employers or
right.
employees.
So if you just wanted to say nationally mandated for
Right.
employees for
You're
employees,
getting fucking destroyed on this whole fucking prompt.
you're
Can we
just
go back to the
repeating
next
things.
step?
If you wanted to
Let's move forward.
specify who it applies to, then you should have specified. But
I don't
and
have to. If it's a national mandate and people can
Mhm.
opt out of this, I don't have to, Dusty.
National mandates? No. Not
So
if they're
people
doing
who
the thing.
opt out of federal
the
income tax by
People
not
who
working
don't have
and
income,
being
it
homeless,
wouldn't apply to them. All people have
right,
bodies.
so they've opted out of this.
All
You
people
just
have
contradicted
bodies.
yourself, Dusty.
Everybody has bodies.
You just contradicted
There-
yourself.
There's
Vic, can we move
nobody.
on with the
Hold on.
super chats? I'm
No,
fine with
there's
moving on.
nobody in the country who fitness and health doesn't apply to. There's nobody in the country who public health care costs doesn't apply to. So saying that some people would just not be employed, that's the non sequitur.
No, it's not a non sequitur because that's opting out of a national mandate.
But the healthcare, all people have bodies, yes.
And do the people with bodies, can they opt out of a national mandate like federal income tax?
The reason income tax doesn't apply to everybody is because it actually doesn't apply to everybody. But if we're trying to address healthcare expenses, then it would apply to everybody because everybody's covered under it.
Because they can opt out. If you're an employer, guess what?
Okay.
You can't opt out of this, just like the health mandate that I'm rolling out.
Hold on.
Dusty.
So if I opt out of being employed, does that mean that I'm not covered by government health care? Can the ER turn me away then? No, it can't.
So Dusty, is it true that there are some things that are voluntarily a subject, like we can voluntarily say
you're
we
not
can't
addressing my
away?
point?
That's a non sequitur,
You're
and I
not
can tell you
addressing
why.
my point.
So during the stabby jabby, we've had people opt out of that.
Deflecting.
Hold on, nope, because
you're
this
deflecting.
is to the topic.
Deflecting.
No, I'm not deflecting. We're actually dealing with the topic that you can't even fucking reconcile.
You are deflecting from what I just said.
People have refused the stabby jabby. People refuse federal income tax, and all this ties to not being employed as well too. So, which is a subset of people that are opting out of a program. Dusty, you fucking idiot.
You're deflecting from my point that if your mandate is to reduce healthcare costs, people still are entitled to public health care. It doesn't do the thing.
You just stuttered right there, Dusty.
It doesn't say the thing that you're saying it would, or it doesn't do the thing.
So if we're reducing people from being enablers of comorbidity, reducing people who are sick, calling out, would there be less burden or more burden on the taxpayer and medical healthcare system?
Marta, what I'm saying is that the expenses would still apply.
You're not going to answer the question tonight, I see.
Because your questions don't matter. Your questions don't matter to the point.
It does matter because this applies to the national health mandate that I'm rolling out as a program, Dusty. Would this cost the nation more money or less money in that fashion?
Do people who opt out of it still cost the system?
Dusty, are you going to answer questions with questions the whole night? Or are you actually going to answer
your questions are just deflections. Your questions are deflections.
I can ask questions that are tangential to the topic. Can you answer a question?
Asking deflection questions.
Okay, Vic, I'm fine with moving forward because he's not going to answer. He's going to avoid questions because that body him the whole night. We can move forward.
All right. Glenn Lawrence for $10. If Roosevelt would have used his executive power to enforce the fitness standard nationwide, like he did for the Marine Corps, we would have less fatties today. And Vic, please raid Grid One. All right, will do.
Yeah, we would. But it would cost more money for sure.
No, we wouldn't cost more money.
Would cost absolutely more money. Absolutely.
So fat people paying for 2 plane tickets and costing the healthcare system more and refusing to go to work use EBT because they're using this as an excuse for costing the system more money.
Yes, the oversight of enforcing
You just avoided another question?
No.
You're a question avoiding machine tonight.
You're a reality denying machine.
But that doesn't change the fact that it wasn't in reality. You're still not answering questions.
You acknowledge that you're a reality denying machine, huh?
So if my questions don't exist in reality, shouldn't that be a cakewalk for you to debunk them? Hold on. If my questions don't operate in reality,
getting debunked left and right, and you're going, I'm bodying you. You're just
if my questions don't function in reality, wouldn't that be a cakewalk for you to debunk them and actually answer them?
Yes, it is.
And why don't you answer questions, you fucking idiot?
Martae,
let's move forward.
Oversight costs money. Oversight costs money. Now you can deny it, you can lie to us, but anybody with a brain knows that oversight costs monmoney. It does.
Let's move forward. This is fucking pedantic now at this point.
Let's move forward because you don't like the point that obviously is correct.
You've answered no questions tonight to my 30 questions that are
I've answered a ton of questions. And every time that you get stuck, every time you get cornered because you're full of shit, you're like, let's move on.
Did you answer the 3 questions I've asked? Dusty, did you answer the 3 questions I've asked?
I've answered most of the questions you've asked.
So you don't answer questions tonight except only the ones that you want to.
Correct. That's how everybody is.
I rest my fucking case. You fucking idiot.
Do you answer questions you don't want answered?
I'll answer questions. Even if I don't want to answer them, I'll answer them. But
does oversight cost money?
Questions the
does
whole night.
Oversight cost money?
It doesn't always cost money. It doesn't have to.
When oversight, the activity of overseeing something, name one example of oversight that doesn't cost money.
Volunteering.
That costs money still. I demonstrated that.
So you're being pedantic and saying if I drive and use my own gas to volunteering,
That's not
people aren't
pedantic.
looking
That's an
at it
actual
like a
expense.
cost.
That's an
They're
expense.
volunteering and charging for services are two different things.
People can already do that. The implication of a mandate. The implication of a mandate.
If I go to a school, am I going to complain about cost?
It doesn't matter if you complain or not. It's still a cost.
Do people complain about cost of volunteering?
Martae, it does not matter. There is still a cost to them.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
If I'm saving the nation money later on, guess what happens?
So you're saying that complaining is what makes something real?
You're going to avoid this the whole night.
No. You're avoiding. Martae, complaining whether or not somebody complains is not the deciding factor on whether or not something's a cost.
It is a deciding factor because guess what happens? There's a popular vote in town square that people decide whether or not they're going to do something because of a complaint. That happens often. When people decide
if I complain about being short,
answer your question because you don't answer mine. I'll at least be good faith and answer one. So when there's a complaint and there's an overwhelming consensus that people don't like something that's going to affect their volunteership, whether or not they wanted to do this or not. You see how I just demonstrated answering questions that you'll never do all night?
Martae, if I complain about being short,
see how I can do this and you can't? That's
if I complain about being short, does that mean I'm short?
Okay, let's move forward. This guy's just
no. You said you'd answer questions even if you don't like them.
Move forward.
You
won't even answer one of mine, but I'm going to answer all of yours. This is fucking ridiculous.
You said that you would. You just said you would.
This is ridiculous. Let's move forward.
If I complain about being short, am I short?
If you complain about being short, that can be true.
I'm 6'1". Am I short?
What is it? Okay, what does that have to do with what I just said?
You said answer my question. I'm 6'1", but if I complain about being short, does that mean?
So that's a false equivalent. So if people are complaining because something is laborious,
I thought you were going to answer my questions, Martae. I thought you were going to answer my questions.
Nope. Is being 6 foot tall laborsome on people to the degree where they complain in the dating market?
I thought he was going to answer my questions. He said he was.
No, I'm answering your question.
No,
do people complain about being tall and they have problems in the dating market because of height?
That doesn't at all answer my question.
No, hold on. There should be complaints in the dating market because of this. If I'm using an example,
Martae, I'm 6'1". If I complain about being short,
dating and they're tall.
Okay.
Do 6 foot tall people complain about this?
Martae,
does that confirm that they're short?
Martae, you don't know the struggles that I have as a black man. Does that make me a black man?
So you're just gonna do this? This is fucking stupid. You're bad faith. You're so fucking bad faith.
All right. Let's move on. All right. Joe motherfucking cool for $1.99. Yell more, Martae. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I will. I'll be vocal.
All right. Postal Joe for $10. Dusty, if the Fitbit is an extra expense, wouldn't the oh wait, I forgot. Joe actually told me I didn't have to read this because you answered it earlier, so we can move on. Geoverse TV for $5. Dusty, true or false? Is it a felony to choose to not pay your taxes?
I don't know. I don't think it is. I mean, at some point it probably is, but I don't think it is all the time. But I don't know.
Okay. Glenn Lawrence for $10. Wouldn't a temporary fitness mandate could be a net win, lower healthcare costs, fewer preventable illnesses, and enough time to lock in habits people refuse to build on their own?
That's speculative. Just like the claim. So it could be, but I don't think it would. It certainly would not, because the oversight that he proposed would cost much more.
So we have hold
on. Let me finish answering the question. And the hypothetical savings to, say, a company or to the individual is not the money saver and the money payer are different entities. So it'd really just be a wealth transfer.
It's not a wealth transfer, and I can demonstrate how. If I have a household and we have parents that are abuse if you give your kids nothing but sugar all the time. This happens all the time. We can see this in low-income housings where nutritional education is deficient. That would be with my mandate. So we'd also increase education when it comes to national health and fitness mandates, when it comes to nutrition, dietary examples, and people choosing active. So it's free to make choices that are. Hold on. No, I didn't interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I didn't interrupt you. If I have a household that is allowing people to be on EBT and they're low income and they're not educated when it comes to taking the right dietary steps to get my kids off of diabetes and all this, healthcare increases because my kids are now diabetic, and not to mention this, but kids are now asthmatic, all these cumbersome problems. But if I have the same household that has more education through my fitness mandate and then they're more healthier, guess what happens? They're going to reduce fitness health costs as far as like medical coverage and all this. You're not going to have diabetic kids in this household. Actually, it's abuse to have obese kids. We have this as a pandemic. You can go to Walmart and see this the whole time of people living the example of refusing any kind of self-imposed mandate that even they have in their personal life. So a household that is fit will stay together more often than not because less health incur costs, all this other shit, and less burdensome performance on the family.
Okay. Now, at the beginning there, it sounded like you were overseeing. Are you proposing overseeing people's dietary choices too?
That's not what I'm saying. There's going to be a runoff as opposed to this national mandate for employees. Guess what's going to happen? There's going to be an education rollout because let's say if we had Trump as a president and he had The Rock come out and The Rock is going to say, hey, we're going to start a fitness campaign. And there's also going to be a national mandate. We're going to increase educational platforms and education on the job. That doesn't have to cost extra money. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to have propagandization go into homes as a result of this. This is going to be the runoff as well too.
People know that sugar is bad for them and they choose it anyways.
No, so you're wrong on that too. Sugar isn't inherently bad for you. It's too much sugar that's bad for you, and that's where the education comes in. And you don't know shit about dietary measurements or requirement or any of this shit, and I can fully educate you on this.
Martae, hold up your drink. Hold up the drink you opened at the beginning of the stream.
You're talking about this?
Yeah. What is that? Energy drink?
Yeah.
Is it healthy?
Yeah.
Is there sugar in it?
Can you tell me how it's not healthy?
Aren't you trying to reduce sugar intake?
Zero sugar.
Oh, so it's got artificial sweeteners?
Stevia is natural.
That's sugar. That's sugar.
Stevia is not sugar.
It's either sugar and artificial sweetener.
It doesn't spike your glucose. Try again.
Does it increase calories? Is it caloric? Are there calories in it?
You're going to be bodied on nutrition.
Are there calories in it?
Nutritionist, go ahead.
Are there calories in it?
No calories.
So it's a chemical.
Stevia is found in nature. Try again.
It's either got calories or it's a chemical.
No.
You know what?
Let me.
You know what
stevia is? Do you know what stevia is?
Right, stevia. Is there caffeine in that?
So caffeine is a natural occurring thing that's in coffee beans.
So there's lots of poisons that are naturally occurring.
If you wanted to go the fitness route, I could body you on this. When it comes to nutrition, you're going to get fucking destroyed and model you up on this.
What I'm pointing out is that there's things in that energy drink is less healthy than, say, water, right?
So no, less healthy is relative when we talk about this. So if I have one of these, occasionally it's not unhealthy. But if I take this and I have like 5 a day, then it gets unhealthy. So let me inform you on something. A piece of pizza is not unhealthy. What people do normally in America
I know that. No, hold on. You're going down a rabbit hole that's unnecessary.
For health, unhealthy.
This is an unnecessary rabbit hole. Yes, of course.
It's not an unnecessary rabbit hole. You're getting fucking schooled on this. No, and I will further school you more on this.
You're straw manning. This is a straw man.
No, that's not a straw man.
Absolutely a straw man.
If I take this and I overconsume this, it's unhealthy. This naturally isn't unhealthy for you. So guess what? It's unhealthy if I have comorbidity and pre-existing natural contraindications. If I take this, like heart disease or anything, then it's unhealthy. But if I'm a healthy person, because my fitness mandate goes out and I follow this fitness mandate, this is healthy. It's not bad.
You're not a healthy person.
Okay, demonstrate how I'm not healthy.
All right. Okay, guys, let's move on.
I swear to God, this
guy's what's the disease that you have that you talked about shitting out blood stuff?
Stupid.
What is that?
All right. Let's move on to the next question. All right, Glenn Lawrence for $5. Wouldn't mandating healthy fitness standards only prolong the male loneliness problem? I don't know. Either one. I think maybe Martae.
I don't know how that's tangential to I don't know how that would be, because here's the thing though. A lot of people complain because they don't there's this whole thing that Dusty talked about, how Andrew Wilson was saying men will be more attractive and all this. Well, he misses what Andrew Wilson's saying. Women use a lot of filters. They use a lot of this on dating apps. The reason why men look the way that they do, and I know what you're doing, Dusty. You're going to fucking copy this and clip it and all this other shit, but I don't give a fuck. What I'm saying, though, is that if men took care of themselves, women would be like, okay, there's more people to choose from on
But
dating
that's not
apps.
what it.
But because we have a less fit nation, guess what happens? We have delusion run amok where women can use 50,000 filters, but guys normally don't use filters and all this other shit. So that's why this perception's off.
But Martae, that's not what Andrew said. That's not what Andrew said in the clip.
So when Glenn says this like, we can't really determine this. That's why I'll even agree with you, Dusty. There's no way that I can determine whether or not this is tangential to what we're talking about or not. But I will say on the women's side, they use 50,000 filters, and there's a lot of shit they do in makeup.
But what he said is that men are the fairer sex without filters. Do you agree with that?
Are the men the fairer sex without filters? I think that our perception would change in the dating market.
You think that men would be hotter?
No, hold on. That's my answer. The perception of beauty standards would change.
I'm asking you your opinion because his was that men.
What you're
would be the
trying to
sex.
do is get me to say some gay shit. I'm
You
not
already
I'm not
are.
going to be gay for you, Dusty. Nobody's
It's
turning
not
gay
me.
for you, Dusty. So
No, it's not. I think women are the fair.
Dusty.
I think
Dusty.
women are the fair sex no matter what.
Dusty, that answers your question. The perception on beauty standards would change drastically. That's my answer.
Okay, but you brought up that quote, what he said.
That's what he means by that.
How do you
That's
know
what
that?
Andrew Wilson means by that. He's not calling men hot.
That's not
He's
what he
saying the
said.
perception on beauty standards would change, and women would be less delusional about how they even look on the dating market. Things would be more equal.
That's definitely not
You
what he said.
understand how
though.
that works?
That's
What
not
you
what he
do is you mischaracterize what he says and you turn it fucking
No,
gay.
I'm just telling you exactly what he said.
No, he didn't say men are hot. Did he say men are hot?
He said men are the fairer sex.
Why is that? How did he arrive to that conclusion?
Because women cheat by wearing makeup.
Right, so that changes the perception on
right.
beauty standards in the dating market. You fucking idiot! God,
So-
let's
so
move
that-
forward. This is crazy. You're such a God. Do you have a good enough diploma at least, Dusty? Do you even have one of those?
A diploma? Yeah, I've got a
A
degree.
good enough one? Okay, good.
I don't know what good enough means. What do you mean by that?
Your GED, Dusty. You don't even.
I have a bachelor's degree. Who's the
Man.
fair sex,
All right.
Martae? Who's the fair sex?
Dusty, you're trying to get me to be gay. Nobody's being gay
I'm
for you,
not,
bro.
I don't need to try.
You're asking me who's the fairer sex. What does that also imply? You're so gay. Let's move on.
It was a gay quote. I don't know why you brought it up.
It's not a gay quote. You mischaracterized what he said.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
You want it to be gay because you're trying to change the optics of what he said because you have 10th man supporting you, which is actually gay. If you have that guy supporting what you said and mischaracterizing it, that actually makes you legit gay supporting.
Martae,
You realize that, right?
I have never jerked off in a room with other men watching me.
So, okay, what does that have to do with what we're talking about right now? Well, I'm making it his claim. Did he do that recently?
We're talking
with you?
about who's gay here, and it's you.
Okay, that has nothing to do with the prompt.
It does.
You see
All
that?
right.
You
Let's
must
move
be back
on.
to
Let's
the gay
move on.
shit.
Let's move on to the next question. Okay. So, Dusty, would it be economically feasible to consider the rat uteruses that are equipped with Fitbits to lower the overall costs in rat populations? I think that's a First Amender joke.
The
Yeah,
rat.
I think
uterus?
it's a First Amender joke.
I don't get
It's a
it.
First Amender joke. So
Okay.
Yeah,
you don't
it
got to
is. It's
answer
First
it.
Amendment, yeah.
All right, Bandit for $10. To clarify, Dusty kept going to costs like gas for volunteers by the government. If people volunteer for this, they don't get paid for things like gas, and so it's not an added cost to the program.
Yeah,
But if
that's also true too.
if it's a mandate, then they're not volunteering. Now you can say that there might be some volunteers who contribute to the mandate, and sure.
So
then
that
those
is
people-
volunteering. You
Let
said
me-
there can be some volunteers,
dude,
but then there's
dude,
no
hold on,
volunteers.
Martae.
You contradicted yourself.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
You literally just contradicted yourself.
No, I didn't.
You
Stop.
said there's no
Calm-
volunteers.
Calm
but there
down.
can be
Calm
volunteers.
down. Calm down.
Wait, hold on. No, rewind
Oh
the
my
tape.
God.
You said there's no volunteers.
Oh my
but there
God.
can be
Blah blah
volunteers.
blah blah blah. Martae, I wasn't done with my point.
Go ahead with your contradiction. Let me hear the rest.
Okay. If you have a mandate, that means that you do not have the option of not doing it. That means that that the gaps in volunteer supply, which right now we do not have enough volunteers to provide all the education and resources that would be necessary. So you would have to fill that, and you have to do that with expenses, regardless
That's an
of.
assumptive claim.
No,
Can
it's
you
not.
demonstrate how we don't have volunteers?
Yes, because in my school district, I've lived here for most of my life. I'm almost 40. I've never heard of the program you talk about. So obviously it's not hitting a large portion of the population.
Good. So let's stick to that right now. Let's stick to this logic. Can we stick to this real quick? So would my fitness mandate incentivize more volunteers to show up and benefit everybody else by reducing costs?
No, it would mandate that people be found.
Hold on. If we have,
I'm answering your fucking question. I'm answering your question. No, it would not. It would mandate. It would mandate that if there. Let me fucking finish. If there are not enough volunteers. Which there aren't. Can I address one point? No, you can't. I'm not done with my point. If there are not enough volunteers
right now.
Okay, Vic, what are you doing?
All right, listen.
Dusty, what the fuck are
you doing, Vic?
Just let Dusty let Dusty
finish
his point, Martae, and then you can respond.
There's obviously not enough volunteers because it's currently not hitting all the schools. That would mean with a mandate, you would have to find those and pay them for it.
Okay, can I answer your question without getting interrupted, Dusty?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we roll out a national mandate and The Rock came out and President Trump was like, I introduced The Rock, we're going to have this mandate that's going to have propagandization and incentivize people through maybe peer groups and even the public square, you're going to look good because status is also imbued in fitness. So if we have people propagandized to say, you know what, if I look good, I'm going to feel better, people are going to feel better about volunteering. Would this not happen? Because this propagandization has happened through feminism, because the boss babe thing has been mandated through movies, through Hollywood, through indoctrinating nations. We can do this through fitness standards as well too. Hold on, I didn't interrupt you real quick. So the movie Predator was propagandization of muscular men coming out back in the day. If we rolled out the same thing and propagandized men to be more in fitness, guess what would happen? You'd have more people inclined to volunteer, you fucking idiot.
Cost to produce the movie Predator. It cost $51 million.
How much did they make?
Well, they made more than that because they're selling royalties. It doesn't matter how much they made. It's all cost.
Hold on. Nope, it does. It matters. Let's look into that real quick.
Okay. They're selling a product. Getting somebody to exercise is not selling a product.
Wait, what? Getting somebody... So me telling clients to train and giving them a fitness package program is not a product?
Martae, let's take your example that you said.
Wait, hold on, Dusty, you fucking idiot. You just walked in. You're
moving off the point. You're moving off the point.
Am I not giving my clients a product?
Does The Rock work for free?
Can The Rock work for free?
There's no reason to assume he would.
Okay, so that's an assumption that we both would make. So that's a stupid ass point. Let's move on.
We can hold on. No, but they're not equally stupid.
What I was saying.
No. Hold on. We're not off that point. We're not off that point, Martae. Martae, we're not off that point.
Dusty, is education
on fitness a product? We're not off the point, Martae.
We are, because you can't prove that he would or wouldn't.
We can look at what he's done. Hold on. Look at the work that The Rock has done. Is most of it free?
Dusty, can he do this for free?
Is most of the work he does free?
Okay, this is a stupid ass point.
No, it's not, because the best
volunteer
determiner of past behaviors, future behaviors, past behavior. Does he do most of his work for free?
This is a stupid ass prompt. That's unfalsifiable. I can't prove that he could volunteer or not.
But we can look at his past behavior.
That's not an indicator of if he would volunteer at a kid's school and help kids out.
You don't think past behavior is an indicator of future?
Okay, so if The Rock got paid billions of dollars, he would turn down helping little kids at a school, teaching them fitness. He would turn this down?
We don't know.
Yes, we do. So when John Cena goes, hold on. So when John Cena, hold on.
We're talking about The Rock. We're talking about The Rock.
I'm answering your question.
No, you're not. You're deflecting. John Cena is the most generous celebrity, I believe, in all of history.
Hold on. Can I answer this question? So if these wrestlers can do the Cancer Wish Foundation and volunteer to go see kids that are dying of cancer, do they charge for this because of their history of making blockbuster movies?
The Rock's net worth is $800 million. Where did that money come from?
Would he charge to see a kid with cancer?
Well, we don't know.
Yes, we do. They don't charge these kids with cancer's families.
Would he charge the government to go fly out and do a commercial? Yes, I'm sure he would.
Would he charge to volunteer? That's what we're talking about. Volunteer work, you fucking idiot.
I don't know why we're talking about volunteer work for a mandate.
So the Make-A-Wish Foundation,
not a mandate, not a mandate, not a mandate.
If The Rock makes a lot of money
It's
If
not
he
a
volunteers
mandate.
for the Make-A-Wish Foundation because of his past of charging for everything, does this mean that he's going to charge to show up at the Make-A-Wish Foundation for a cancer kid?
That's not a mandate. It's not a mandate.
Then why fucking bring it up, you idiot?
Because I didn't bring it up. You keep bringing up
This is
Make-A-Wish.
outside of the mandate conversation.
Because Martae, what you're trying to propose is that if we have a
You're not
mandate,
making sense because when I bring a
you
logical
think that we can
entailment,
put a
you
mandate
fail
into
with
place.
this too, Dusty.
Vic, what are you doing?
Dusty, shut the fuck up. How about that?
You think
Let's
that we
go
can
back
put
to
a
this
mandate
chat.
into place and it won't increase costs because everybody will do it voluntarily?
So
You're retarded.
Look, people volunteer for the Make-A-Wish Foundation often, Dusty. When I bring this up,
I
you're going to
didn't
say
say
the
they
reason
don't.
why he wouldn't do this is because he's made $50 million on blockbuster movies. That's a dumbass point. Let's move on.
Martae, can you name one mandate that people volunteer for and it's done for free entirely? Go ahead.
Free entirely?
Yeah.
I just brought up one.
Which one?
Matter of fact, the chatter brought up one too.
Which one?
The people that showed up to schools and ripped the phone books in half. It was like they were called the Power Team. We can look it up.
That's not a national mandate.
We did have a mandate for fitness, the call to fitness throughout the nation. Yes. And then not to mention this, we have military requirements. That's a national mandate.
The military takes a lot of tax money. Schools take a lot of tax money.
That's a mandate. So what? You can take tax money for mandates.
They have to pay for these things, Martae.
Does that change the fact that it's a mandate or not?
It changes the fact that it's voluntarily.
Does that change the fact that it's a mandate or not, Dusty?
What? Does what change the fact that it's a mandate? That they pay for it?
Yeah, does that change? Even if that was the case, does it change the fact that it's a national mandate that's accepted for physical fitness?
Yes, it contradicts the claim that it's free.
You can't even hear my questions because you're over talking me. Does that change the fact that it's a national mandated fitness requirement?
I was not talking about a national mandate. I was talking about whether or not it's free.
Now you're not talking about a national mandate.
We're talking about whether or not it's free.
Look.
My question to you was, can you name one national mandate that's implemented for free?
I just gave you one, Dusty.
No, you
don't
did not.
want to even engage in this.
You referenced to a nonprofit. That's not a national mandate.
Dusty, even if profit was involved or not involved in this, it doesn't cost the taxpayers extra money to actually save the money in the interim and long term.
When I say nonprofit, that's a entity structure. It's not actually talking about whether or not they make money.
Dusty, this is stupid. Let's get
You
off
don't
the subject.
understand just basic
You're talking in
English.
circles right now at this point, Dusty.
Okay, my
All
point
right,
is.
Okay, Dusty, make your last point, and then we'll move on to the next question.
My point is that there is no example of a national mandate that is implemented entirely voluntarily.
All right. These next two, I'm going to read back to back because I think it's all part of one question. Thank you very much, Bandit, for the 5. I asked Dusty to define volunteering because he implied that all their costs should be covered, which is not volunteering. Oversight pays for itself because the waste it catches is more than the cost of oversight.
That is entirely speculative and demonstrably not true.
All right.
Yeah, even though we have objective outcomes. Yeah.
Where are your objective outcomes?
On savings and costs to companies when we reduce health costs and medical costs, and also more productivity to companies as well too. Yeah.
That's not an objective outcome.
Clearly.
It's entirely not an objective outcome. Well, we do have objectively
outcome. If we can show this and demonstrate this in real time, that less people that call off sick are more productive at work, that's an obvious entailment.
Yeah, but that's not what would happen.
Entailment that I can logically demonstrate without having to show.
Basically, what you're saying is that if people work better, then they'll work better.
No, it's not working better. If they're more productive because they're healthy.
What you have not demonstrated is that would be the outcome.
All you're doing is twisting this. This
no,
is
I'm
bad
not.
faith. When you say you're talking about people working better, I'm not talking about working better. I'm talking
Martae,
about
you lied about how Fitbits work. Don't talk to me about bad faith.
There's a difference between those two
things. You lied about how Fitbits work. Don't talk to me about bad faith.
Anyways, Dusty, you're not making any points right now. This is ridiculous, man.
Yes, I am.
All right. Brick petitions for $1.99. Martae mandates no more fat girl jobbers. I don't know what those emojis are.
I don't know what this even means.
Coffee, goat, and joy.
That's the llama. Cuckable mug llama.
Ah, okay. All right. Let's see here. World Radio 332 for $2. Dusty proved earlier prompt about being a douche.
Which was objective, not subjective. Thank you.
A douche is, man, you need to go back and watch that debate.
Yeah, you clearly lost that. I would have bodied you on that debate too.
Am I a douche?
Yes, you are. That's objectively demonstrated by your actions. You know that
What
that can be
what is
demonstrated by actions,
what is a
right?
douchebag? What is a douchebag when used in
A
context?
douchebag is somebody who has unsavory behavior by their actions, right? If we're going to demonstrate what a douchebag is, how do we determine that? Actions, right? And actions can be objective, right?
But no, the determination. The determination.
Objective, Dusty.
Calm down. You're starting to freak out because you know that you're in a
You're
corner.
not answering questions. This is another one that you're
You're
evading.
starting to freak out because you know that you're in a corner.
Dusty, can objectives be actions?
Does everybody think that the same things are unsavory?
Can actions be objective?
We're not talking about actions.
Question, Dusty.
Yes, of course actions can.
So you are a douchebag objectively, yes.
But what is savory? Is that an opinion?
So when you call Andrew Wilson a cuck through Cuck Hunt, do you think that wouldn't be douchebaggery?
I think lots of people found that savory.
Yeah, people can agree that you're a douchebag and like that. That doesn't disprove my point.
It disproves by definition.
There are a lot of people that like douchebags, right?
Okay.
They'll say, "Well, he's a douchebag, and I like the fact that he's a douchebag." Can that be true?
If something is unsavory, if something's unsavory, that means we don't like it, right?
Dusty, can people find things unsavory entertaining?
Generally, people don't like things that are unsavory.
Oh God, you're such a fucking idiot, Dusty. Let's move on.
If something's unsavory, I know you want to move on because you know you're stuck on this.
So if I tell you that you're a meth head and you find that unsavory, but my people are entertained, can that be true?
That's a perfect example of subjectivity.
No, hold on.
That's a
can that be
perfect example.
True
Thank
that you are offended by this, and that
now we can move on because you demonstrated it perfectly. Thank you. We can move on.
No, hold on. Can those two things be true? Can that be objective still?
Martae, you demonstrated this subjectively perfectly. Thank you.
Can that be objective still? Are there people that don't like being called cucks like Christians? Do Christians like being called cucks?
I don't know. Some of them probably do.
No, that's objective. According to what we have in scripture and according to our tradition, no Christian likes being called a cuck. So that's objective, you idiot.
You don't think there's one Christian on earth who likes being called a cuck?
Dusty. So Christians who are
Martae,
true Christians and Christ followers like being called cucks?
I didn't call Christians cucks.
No.
I didn't call Christians cucks. Hold on. I did not call Christians cucks. I didn't do that.
You did. You had Cuck Hunt with Andrew Wilson's face on there.
Is Andrew Wilson Christian? Is he all Christians?
Hold on. Do you think objectively that goes against the Christian standard of acceptability?
Did I call Christians?
Is that hold on? No, Dusty, you're fucking running. Is that objectively wrong with Christian ethics?
I actually don't know.
It is.
I don't think it is.
Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Let's move on.
I actually don't know that that's the case. Can you demonstrate a Bible verse that prohibits cuckoldry?
You just got so infidelity. What's infidelity?
I mean, there's polygamy in the Bible.
So if I allow somebody to have sex with my wife outside of marriage, is that infidelity in Christian in our Christian marriage?
Please demonstrate.
If I allow a third party in my marriage and open my marriage up, is that acceptable in Christian ethics?
According to God in the Bible?
Yeah.
Was he okay with David having multiple wives?
No, I'm talking about now. Was that church tradition? Was that accepted?
Oh, wait. So God changes his mind about things.
In church tradition, is that accepted? Can it in orthodoxy now? Is that accepted?
You're asking me about culture. You're not asking me about.
Yes, 2,000 years of unchanged culture. Is that accepted within our 2,000 years of unchanged culture? Because we're talking. No. I'm demonstrating how objectively you're a fucking douchebag. So Andrew Wilson is an Orthodox, and I'm going to get off the subject because I don't want to talk about him. We're talking about us right now. If an Orthodox Christian. If an Orthodox, because I'm proving that you're a fucking douchebag objectively. So if an Orthodox Christian with 2,000 years of unchanged standard is being called a douche, is being called a cuck, do you think that this is acceptable culture with Orthodox traditions?
You're making claims in there that are wrong. You're setting up the question. There are changing
standards. Wrong. With Orthodox tradition, 2,000 years is being called a cuck in alignment with Orthodox tradition.
Well, I don't know. I'm not an Orthodox Christian. Can you demonstrate where
let me educate you. You're a fucking douchebag. Objectively, that doesn't align with Christian ethics.
Can you demonstrate? Where does it say? Where does it say that you can't pick up?
Fucking stomped. You're getting mollywopped.
Where does it say that? Where does it say that?
Let's move on, guys. We got 2 more questions. Let's get through these last 2 questions.
All right, let's get through them,
and then we'll call it a day. All right. We're almost done. All right, Marathon Kevin. These, by the way, these super chats right here, they're related because the next one's a correction.
That's all right, let's go.
If fitness is nationally mandated, at what Does an unfit body become a crime scene and not a citizen? And are we doing 30-minute walks in Minnesota at minus 30-degree weather? Martae.
So there are plenty of activities that couples can do together.
Fuck.
They can not only do this, but you can do burpees in the living room. There's plenty of other things. And guess what? That's all free. Not only is this free, but this is also reported as well, too, because if you have a Fitbit, your Fitbit's going to basically track all your progress. So do you think people have indoor gyms? Do you think that you need weight sets to train? I've actually trained in hotel rooms as a personal trainer. I've had people train in 30 below degree weather while they're traveling in hotel rooms because I have training programs and things like this. I think an educated, informed rollout of a fitness mandate program would also include all this so you can have a workaround so that way you can reduce costs, because this is at no cost to the consumer and they're consuming product, which Dusty says that this isn't a product. Education is a product that you're delivering to people to actually reduce cost.
I mean, I didn't say education wasn't a product.
You said it. What you said? It's not a product.
It's not free
to
provide.
This is not a product, and then I demonstrated how it's
provide. It's not free to provide.
It is free to provide. Yes.
No, it's not.
So if you think,
let's go to the next one. We've only got one left. We've only got one. Let's go on.
To Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh my God! Shut up, Martae. It's not free
to the person. Is that a product?
Vic, we can go to the next one. We can go to the next one.
Is it meaningful to the person? Yes, it is.
Shut up.
You're a fucking idiot. Let's move forward.
Final question for Dusty. Dusty, you are speculating too. Economics is mostly speculative. And why would forcing people to be fit be bad? We force people to do all kinds of things.
Because forcing it is I'll give him credit where it's due. It is a largely speculative science. However, forcing people to do anything, it does require expenses. It is cost heavy.
That's not force. If we're telling you that you live in a right to work state and we're only hiring people that meet our quota in these mandates that we have, that's not force.
It's a form of force. Yes, absolutely it is.
No, it isn't. If I tell you that in order to work for this company, you have to fulfill these requirements or educate with this degree and all that, is that force? No, it's not force.
If the alternative is starving to death and being homeless, sure. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You're operating on some form of reality that doesn't even fucking exist. I don't know where you're at right now, Dusty.
Okay, so if I hold a gun to your head and tell you to give me all your money or else I'm going to shoot you, is it voluntary?
Now you're talking about force. But if I volunteer to apply for a company, is that force?
If I say you have to do exercise or else I take your home.
Dusty, if you had
you have to exercise or else I take your home.
Right? Dusty, you had a bachelor's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they forcing you to work for the company? Because they have a mandate that you need a bachelor's to work for the company. Are they forcing you to do anything?
They would be forcing you to do the exercise. Why are you asking me like?
No. You're saying that they have a requirement. The bachelor's degree is a mandate. Hold on, the bachelor's degree is a mandate. Are they forcing you?
It's not a mandate. That's not a mandate either. Are they forcing you
out of the workforce because they need a bachelor's degree?
It's not a mandate to get a bachelor's degree.
At that job, are they mandating you if they say you need to have a bachelor's degree? Is that a mandate by that company standards?
We're not talking about for a job. We're talking about to work at all.
Oh, so that's a mandate, you fucking idiot. I'm talking about the simplicity of just a simple mandate. I'm not talking about national.
Martae, if I don't work at a job,
small example of why you're failing throughout this whole debate.
No. Stop spazzing out and let me finish. If I choose to apply for a job that requires, say, a bachelor's degree, and they say, well, you don't meet the education requirements, I can still apply for other jobs that don't have that requirement, right?
Yeah, but that's not force.
But you're making it so that there would be no
force, Dusty. Let's move on.
Yes, no, we're not moving on. There's no more.
I can't wait to see this poll, Vic. I just want to see.
No, hold on, Martae.
You're not making any sense.
Yes, I am.
I gotta go piss anyways.
What a coward!
Oh, because I gotta piss. I'm a coward.
You're a coward because you start freaking.
Martae drank
a
caffeine beverage that makes you pee a lot, but he's a
coward.
So
did I. Why is my bladder healthier than yours?
So if I have to pee more because I drink more water and fluids, that means I'm unhealthy?
So you didn't have time to listen to my point, but you have time to have this argument. That's why you're a coward.
You have to go piss. You're just making up shit as you go. You've done this whole debate, and it's failed you ever since.
Go pee. Go pee.
Such a bad faith debater. You're even using my natural
go pee. You got to pee badge. Let's go.
All right.
Anyways, Vic, before I go pee,
Okay.
I'd love to see this poll.
You don't really have to go pee that.
All right,
bad,
I'm
do
gonna
you?
show. I'm gonna show the poll real quick.
Mhm.
Oh, that's Martae left.
All right.
I was just gonna show him the poll, and then I was gonna call it a night. But I'll wait till he gets back.
All right. Do you mind if I read a few of my super chats in the meantime?
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. New member Rust. Thank you for becoming a member. New member at Lies from the Tablecloth. Thank you for becoming a new member.
All right.
Um,
He could go do that, and here.
Workademic.
Mute both their mics, and then I'll just talk to you guys for a second. Wow, what a debate, huh? What a debate. Yeah, so I'm just going to read these last two here. Bandit for $2. Look to the right of Martae to see a douchebag. Thank you very much, Bandit.
Let me bring. Okay, I got it muted. Jesus. All right. He said, let's see. Workademic says, "Good luck, brother. Thank you. Thank you for the $2. You know what? What am I doing? I need to play a celebratory clip." Where's my light bulb? For $5 says, "LOL, he called Dusty a bootlicker. Every accusation is a confession." That does seem to be the case. Let's see. Workademic says $2. Despise the free lunch. Absolutely. It's always a trap. Chuck, member for 12 months, says, "What a nut." True. Light bulb with $5 more says, "I don't think this guy is employed. Employers don't mandate fitness requirements." Yeah, that's mostly correct. Now, there are places like I worked in a warehouse job where you had to stand up and stretch out, right? But that periodically, like every hour or something. But that was, So yeah, no, I agree. But there's some every now and then you find a job with some little requirements like that. Moderator needs to keep it on point. Correct. However, hold on, we're back. Let me get it back up.
Let me announce the results of the poll. So, who won this debate? Cooliverse, Martae with 71%, Dusty with 29%.
You only got 71%. That's crazy. You know that means I won.
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
You're an economics major and you're
Yeah.
saying the dumbest shit. This is crazy.
Yeah, Bill, your audience doesn't like me at all.
How do you? So this audience is people following you and Sarah stream sniping. How is this his audience?
I mean, do you want to know what the poll is on my end?
Hold on. Objectively, I can prove to you that Sarah's stream sniping. You don't think
Right.
people are there's a mixed bag in his audience?
Right. The poll on my end says
Holy shit,
82-18.
this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, who's going to vote on what polls? Mine says 82% to 18%. So I won by a higher margin.
Yeah, I'd win on mine, but we're on a neutral party podcast. We're not talking about ours. We're talking about his.
Vic is not neutral. He even acknowledged
Vic is
that.
Neutral.
No, he's
Sarah's
not.
not neutral. She fucking cheated. She was.
I'm not
helping-
reading you Sarah's poll.
She was basically debating against Paige. You fucking
Vic,
idiot. I
did
covered this.
Martae, are you saying that Vic's audience is neutral?
Vic is a neutral moderator,
That's
and
not
his
what
audience
I'm
is
asking
mostly
you
people
about.
that
That's
actually
not-
object against things he said too.
That's not what
There
I'm asking you
are a
about.
mixed bag of people that tune into Vic's channel. What are you talking about?
That's not what I asked you about. Do you think that Martae's
That's-
audience is neutral to me?
So when you
Dusty,
say
do you-
think, that's speculative.
I know.
But Dusty, do you think people went from my chat to go vote in your poll? I'm pretty sure people went from your chat to go vote in my poll.
Right.
But you don't think it worked both ways?
Do you think when Sarah's stream sniping, you don't think people jumped in to help out? You don't think that could have happened?
Martae, that's speculative.
No, it's not speculative that Sarah's stream sniping. I actually covered this. Do you want me to prove this?
No, I know that she's stream sniping. I told you.
Right. Fucking idiot, bro. This is crazy.
What's speculative is who voted where.
Dusty, just hang it up. You should do something else besides the big bro.
That poll says 71%.
Not your lane, bro.
My poll says 82% to me. I won by a higher margin. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I won in my poll too. I could say that too. But we're on a neutral. We're with a neutral moderator on a different platform. You're just pissed because you fucking lost.
Yeah. Look, listen, guys. Thank you guys very much for coming on my channel. All right. I appreciate you both. It was a very hot, intense debate. Dusty, why don't you start off? Tell people where they could find you.
Thank you. My channel's The Powder Dusty, at The Powder Dusty. I stream most nights, normally later, but do a lot of open panels. So come on by, subscribe. Even if you like Martae, it doesn't matter who you like. I don't covert contract audiences that way. So thank you for having me. Martae, thank you for finally engaging in a debate with me. You spent a lot of time talking shit and then avoiding me. So despite all the nonsense, I do appreciate that you finally sacked up and engaged me head on.
All right. Thank you very much, Dusty. And Martae, tell people where they could find you.
So you can find me on OTE on the Edge, and I know Dusty really loves my hat that I'm wearing right now. So Dusty says I talk a lot of shit about him. No, I don't. I only recently did when I was sick and tired of his bullshit, because every time I get mentioned on YouTube, it's like Dusty made another short about me. So it's like, when do I ever talk shit about Dusty unless it's firing back or defending myself, which is stupid. So he's actually being fallacious, making fallacious claims right now and being stupid. This just makes no sense. He's not only done this, but he's in alignment with other people that do the same thing. Sarah's done this by being an unfair moderator. 10th Man, who's also joked and laughed about my videos, and he's done this on his channel all the time. I don't sit on my channel jabbing back at him and do all this. Matter of fact, I ignore Dusty for the most part. He does the same thing. This is just projection on his part. But you can find me on YouTube at OTE on the Edge. You can follow me on all the other platforms. I have a ton of debates coming up. I have a 2v1, me versus Mr. Work and Bernard, me versus Agent Smith, and I'm up to my neck in debates where I'm usually winning. And also, Vic, if you can, give me a screenshot of tonight's poll. That'll be great, because what's going to happen is he's going to say that he lost, when I'd rather have receipts, and I'll screenshot it if I have to.
You'll get your screenshot.
All right, for sure, Martae. Yeah, I will.
Oh, you love screenshots. Trust me, you don't got to tell me twice. I know you do.
Love screenshots?
All
what
right.
does that mean?
You're begging me for screenshots in the chat while sending me blow kiss emojis, which is super gay, by the way. And I have a screenshot of that and receipts.
Thank you for reminding me. You never did demonstrate that.
You send me blow kiss face emojis?
No, that Brian said the thing.
So you're not denying that, which is really gay.
No, I sent you a blow kiss emoji for sure.
Oh, that's so fucking gay. Anyways.
Okay.
You can't take the gay away.
Go back to the anal words. That's so fucking gay. You admit to this too? That's crazy.
Blow kiss emojis to both of you guys.
No, I reject the blow kiss emoji.
I hope you guys have a great. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I hope you guys both have a great rest of your night.
All right, thanks, Vic.
Yeah.
All right, take care,
guys.